I think 72nd in the primetime news at 9, they told us that it's a big deal in Japan because like Tom Cruise movie get 4 minutes, so you are getting this is like unbelievable, so no wonder we played 36 weeks there.
મારી પાસે એક સજેશન છે, તમે તમારી ફિલ્મ પછીની જે આ વાત કરીને એની ઉપર એક બીજી ફિલ્મ બનાવો, કારણ કે આ એટલી રોચક વાર્તા છે. કેટલું આમ 4-5 વાર તો વાત સાંભળતા મારા રૂવાડા ઊભા થઈ ગયા.
ડિસ્ટ્રીબ્યુટર છે રિયાલ્ટો, એ ભાઈ પણ હતા. ગુજરાતી ફિલ્મના આ ડિસ્ટ્રીબ્યુટર છે, આવા બ્લોન્ડ બ્લુ આવ્યા, એટલે એ બધી વાતો સાંભળતો હતો. આ કેટલું સરપ્રાઇઝિંગ લાગે છે કે આવા લોકો અહીંયા ડિસ્ટ્રીબ્યુટ કરી રહ્યા છે ફિલ્મની અંદર.
અહીંયા જે ગુજરાતી ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીના લોકો દુઃખી થાય છે કે ગુજરાતમાં બનતી ગુજરાતી ફિલ્મો ગુજરાતીઓ નથી જોતા. તમે ઓસ્કર સુધી જઈ આવ્યા પછી પણ તમારી પીડા પણ એ જ છે.
એ જ છે. અગર ગુજરાતી ઓડિયન્સ જેવી રીતે કેરાલા, આસામ, ઓરિસ્સા, બસ બધી જગ્યાએ રીમા દાસ જે મારી ફ્રેન્ડ છે એની ફિલ્મ ઓસ્કારમાં ગઈ હતી મારી જેમ જ, છેલ્લો શો વિલેજ રોક સ્ટાર. વિધિન 24 hours ચીફ મિનિસ્ટર ઓફ Assam sanctioned her 1 crore rupees. He said, I know how hard it is to fight this campaign. We can't give you a lot of money. We know you need 10, 20, 15 crore. But this is little help, whatever we can do, because we are government. The more expensive film we make in India, we have more expensive star in it. Hollywood is opposite. The more film is expensive, you take total newcomers. You don't take stars. You don't need star because you believe in your story. And they became star after. Avenger નું કોઈ સ્ટાર નહોતા પહેલા.
આખી જિંદગી ક્યાંક ને ક્યાંક નઝીર સાહેબને એમ હશે કે મને બચ્ચન જેટલી ફેમ નહીં મળે, અને બચ્ચનને એવું હશે કે હું નસીર જેવો એક્ટર ક્યારેય ના કેવડાવે, લોકોએ મને એ લાઇટમાં નહીં જોયું. તો તમારી જે આખી સ્ટ્રગલ છે, જે પાછળથી જે પમ્પિંગની જે જરૂર હોય ઇન ટર્મ્સ ઓફ મની, ઇન ટર્મ્સ ઓફ પુશ, ઇન ટર્મ્સ ઓફ એન્કરેજમેન્ટ, ઇન ટર્મ્સ ઓફ રેકગ્નિશન.
Mr. Manmohan Shetty, who used to run big studio called Ad Labs, he had signed Hrithik Roshan. So I said like, sir, आप तो बुला रहे लेकिन आपने पिक्चर देखा है, तो पिक्चर नहीं देखा, लेकिन आपने यार 200 crore कमा लिया है.
मैंने बिजनेस देख लिया.
बिजनेस देख लिया. So ये एक अप्रोच है. So in one way the intelligent actor now, इतना सारा टाइम सर तो मंगलवार को शूट है, सोमवार आते हैं और शूट शुरू हो जाता है. तो हमने बोला लेकिन वो रोल तो पिच किया है नलिन ने, तो ये करना पड़ेगा. सो देन दे सेइंग बट ठीक है, लेकिन फिर फीस डबल हो जाएगी, क्योंकि वो आपके सर के 6 महीने ब्लॉक हो जाएंगे. 6 महीने में तो सर 2 फिल्म कर लेते हैं. So then the whole conversation.
सर की वो सारी फिल्में सर पैर बगैर की होती है, उसका क्या? તમારી ફિલ્મ જે તમે બનાવી હોય એ ઓસ્કરની એન્ટ્રી, ભારતની ઓફિશિયલ ઓસ્કરની એન્ટ્રી ધારો કે બની જાય, પછી એ ત્યાંના લોકોને પણ પસંદ આવવા માંડે, પછી એને નોમિનેશન પણ મળે, અને ત્યાંથી લઈ અને તમારે ઓસ્કર હવે જીતવાનો છે. આ બધાની વચ્ચેનો રસ્તો તમે કેવી રીતે કાઢી શકશો? એનો આજે એક માસ્ટર ક્લાસ થવાનો છે પેન નલિનની સાથે. તમે એમની સમસારા જોઈ છે કે વેલી ઓફ ફ્લાવર્સ જોઈ છે કે એંગ્રી ઇન્ડિયન ગોડેસીસ જોઈ છે, એ મને નથી ખબર, પણ તમે છેલ્લો શો હોપફુલી જોઈ હશે, બિંગ ગુજરાતી. આપણી સાથે પેન નલિન ઇન ટુડેઝ પોડકાસ્ટ. થેન્ક યુ સો મચ ફોર બિંગ હિયર ઓન ધ દેવકી શો.
હા, થેન્ક યુ સો મચ. એનીવે થોડીક જાહેરાત પણ કરી દો. છેલ્લો શો હજી સુધી ચાલે છે નેટફ્લિક્સ ઉપર, કદાચ જોઈ હોય તો.
હા, હજી ના જોઈ હોય તો પ્લીઝ તમે જોઈ જ લો. આપણે છેલ્લે એટલાન્ટામાં મળ્યા હતા અને પછી ત્યાંથી અમદાવાદની સફર છે તમારી, પણ એની વચ્ચે તમારા જીવનની અંદર કેટલું બધું બદલાયું છે. બિકોઝ 2022 માં વી વર ધેર, અને છેલ્લો શો જે છે એનો પહેલો શો મેં જોયો હતો ત્યાં.
હા, સાચી વાત. ધેટ્સ ટ્રુ. યસ યસ.
અને એના પછી ભારતના ઇતિહાસની અંદર પેન નલિન ક્યારેય ન ભૂસાય ફિલ્મી જગતમાં એવું નામ બની ગયું. યુ આર ધ ઓનલી વન ગુજરાત તરફથી કે જે હવે આમ સુવર્ણ અક્ષરોથી એકેડેમીના ક્લબ મેમ્બર તરીકે યુ આર ગોઈંગ ટુ બી ધેર ફોર એવર એન્ડ એવર. So, first of all, thank you so much for giving us that wonderful film.
No, my pleasure, and thank you for watching it. And I'm glad you saw it at before the storm hit the film, you know.
પણ એ વખતે પણ આપણે વાત કરતા હતા અને આજે પણ મને યાદ છે કે તમારે તમારું ઘર વેચવું પડ્યું. તમે તદ્દન ઘર વગરના થઈ ગયા અને એક ગુજરાતી ફિલ્મ બનાવવા માટે એક પણ ગુજરાતી આટલા બધા ખમતીધર ભારતમાં દુનિયામાં કયા નંબરે ધનવાનની યાદીમાં એ લોકો આવે છે એવા અનેક ગુજરાતીઓ હોવા છતાં તમારે વિદેશી ભંડોળની મદદથી એક ગુજરાતી ફિલ્મ બનાવવી પડી કે જેણે માત્ર ગુજરાતને નહીં ભારતને ગ્લોબલ સ્કેલની ઉપર ફિલ્મ મેકિંગની અંદર એક નામના અપાવી. આજે તમે જ્યારે 2 વર્ષ પછી મારું ઘર જતું રહ્યું અને મેં આ જે સેક્રિફાઈસ કર્યું એને તમે જ્યારે 2 વર્ષ પછીના સમયમાં જુઓ છો અને વિથ વોટ ઓલ હેઝ હેપન્ડ એન્ડ હાઉ યોર લાઈફ વુડ હેવ ચેન્જડ, લોકો તમારી સાથે જે વાત કરતા હશે ઓલ ઓફ ધેટ વુડ હેવ ચેન્જડ.
Yes.
राइट. તમને लगता है पहले तो मुझे भाव नहीं देते थे तुम, हाँ पहले मेरा नाम नहीं पता था. તો શું બદલાયું છે?
આઈ થિંક ઘણું બધું બદલાઈ ગયું, કારણ કે એક તો જ્યારે ઇન્ડિયાએ ડિક્લેર કર્યું કે ભાઈ આ એકેડમીમાં જશે ઓસ્કારમાં હરીફાઈમાં, એટલે ઓફિશિયલ એન્ટ્રી થઈ ઇન્ડિયાની, અને વી વર ટોટલી નોટ એક્સપેક્ટિંગ. એટલા માટે તો અમે એટલાન્ટામાં પ્રીમિયર પણ કરી નાખ્યો when we met, because we were not, if we knew that we would have waited, you know, we would have used all the opportunity. પણ અહીંયા એટલો બધો મોટી ફિલ્મોનો એટલો બઝ હતો અને લોબિંગ ને ઘણું બધું ચાલતું હોય છે. મેં કીધું આપણી ફિલ્મ કોણ જોઈ અને કોણ સિલેક્ટ કરશે, એટલે હજી સુધી ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી શોક ઇઝ નોટ ઓવર કે આ ફિલ્મ કેમ પહોંચી ગઈ, કોણે એને વોટ કર્યો. એટલે ટુ માય લક વોટ આઈ નો ટુડે કે જે 16-17 જ્યુરી મેમ્બર હતા જે ચેન્નાઈમાં સિક્રેટલી બધી ફિલ્મો જોતા હોય છે, કોઈને ખબર નથી હોતી, એમાં આઈ બિલીવ લોટ ઓફ યંગ ફિલ્મ મેકર્સ વર ધેર. અને એ લોકો કે આપણે બધું, ધીસ ઇઝ ધ ટાઈમ ટુ ચેન્જ, વી લવ ધીસ ફિલ્મ, બધું ભૂલી જાઓ. એન્ડ એકચ્યુઅલી they told me later કે there was a bloodbath. To keep your film, you know, બધું થઈ ગયા પછી. એટલે I thank them, you know, I didn't know any one of them. મેં કીધું like I can't, we were also surprised. So after the moment it was announced કે અમે જશે આપણી ફિલ્મ ઓસ્કારમાં, તો ઘણી બધી કોન્ટ્રોવર્સી થયેલી, કારણ કે લોટ ઓફ પીપલ વર અપસેટ, યુ નો. તો ઓફિશિયલી તો અમને લેટર જ નહોતો મળ્યો ઘણા વીક સુધી.
બધાને મનાવવાનું કામ ચાલતું હતું.
કારણ કે નોર્મલી યુ નો વી વર ઓલરેડી સો લેટ. ઇન્ડિયા બહુ લેટ મોકલે છે ફિલ્મ, એક તો એ કારણ, અને ઓન ટોપ ઓફ દેટ વી આર ઇવન લેટ. તો કોઈ કે આ ફિલ્મ કોઈ કોપી લાગે છે, કોઈ કે આ ગુજરાતી ફિલ્મ તો આમાં કંઈક બીજેપીનો જ હાથ હશે, એવા ઘણા બધા યુ નો
એલિગેશન્સ ચાલ્યા.
અને યુ નો પાયરેટેડ કોપીઝ વર રિલીઝ, ડેથ થ્રેટ. You know, so this is when it got serious.
Death threat. Tell me more.
8-10 દિવસ સુધી તો we were with commandos, you know, in Mumbai, me and my producer. એટલે સીધો ફોન આવે, અરે ઓસ્કાર में से पिक्चर निकाल, नहीं तो देख क्या हालत होता है तेरा. So then you don't take it lightly. Next thing they do is send a photograph where you were sitting. That, you know, if it was you, I would say, oh, I saw you in lobby of 406 meeting Devaki. You know, like that kind of detail. So we knew that they are watching
serious?
us. Yeah. So we ended up at the police station, you know, and meanwhile our publicist in LA is saying, bhai, bahut modu thai gyu, jaldi aao, Oscar, you are losing your chance, you have a great chance, you know, to win, you know, at least nomination you will go. And but we said like, we need an official letter from INB ministry. That was not being issued. And the body which sends, they say, no, we have a lot of pressure, hum kya kar sakte hain, you know. So we were, at one time we were fighting this death threat. Second is the piracy, because the popular film, I don't want to name them, but their fan club had promised that they will release Chalo Show on internet, you know, a pirated version. And if you don't do that, if you don't remove your film from Oscar, within 48 hours, there'll be 2 million links will be available. So એક નવો પ્રોબ્લેમ શરૂ થયો, એન્ડ લિટરલી before we were planning campaign about releasing the film in India, premiere show, એની ડેટ નક્કી થયેલી, PVR જોડે આખું ડિસ્કશન, અમદાવાદ પ્રમોશન માટે ગયા, ચેન્નાઈ, કેરાલા, બધું
જી,
ચાલતું હતું.
જી.
અને સડનલી the whole of Gujarat, friends and family are saying, sending messages, નલિનભાઈ બહુ સરસ ફિલ્મ બનાવી, મજા આવી ગઈ જોઈને. અને they are sending me scenes from my movie to me, and
Oh
we
my
are
God.
watching with our, બધા, everybody, including our team, અમારા બધા નાના ટાબરિયા હતા, બધાએ જોઈ નાખી પિક્ચર. So મેં કીધું, what is going on, So then we had to go to Bangalore. And we used a company which a lot of big companies use to, control the cyber crime. So, but for that, you have to file a report with cybercrime. So, meanwhile, entire world is doing their Oscar campaign.
Oh my
This
God.
is what me and my team are going through. And finally, we said, okay, forget it. Now we cannot do like the Indian movies. After India, શું છે કે film is never shown to film critic. Only on the day of the release, you go and review it.
બિલકુલ.
This is only unique to India. America, Europe, બધે 2-3 મહિના પહેલા ફિલ્મ જોવા મળે, if you are a film critic, in a private preview,
Screening.
so that you can keep your reviews ready. Like, not like, doesn't matter. And there are so many magazines which are monthly, which need to be printed. Like, Femina, kind of
Filmfare.
magazine, Filmfare, you have Elle, Vogue, Marie Claire, they all need so that the day issue comes out, so we don't have that system. So we said we can't wait for the release. Now that there is so much of negativity, we should show the film. Let's call all media. And they were all dying to watch because they were also curious. How come this film has come? એમાં કોઈ પેલા આંધ્રપ્રદેશના, તેલંગાના મિનિસ્ટરે આઈ થિંક રાજ્યસભામાં સ્પીચ આપી દીધી કે જો કેટલો અન્યાય થઈ રહ્યો છે અમારા ફિલ્મ મેકર જોડે, અને ફરીથી કે ભાઈ ફાસ્ટમાં ફાસ્ટ ટ્રેન આવે તો ગુજરાતમાં, મોટામાં મોટું સ્ટેડિયમ બને તો ગુજરાતમાં, આખી દુનિયાનું મોટું સ્ટેચ્યુ બને તો પણ ગુજરાતમાં, અને હવે ફિલ્મ પણ જાય તો પણ ગુજરાતી ફિલ્મ. એટલે મોદીજીની કમાલ
બાયસ ચાલી રહ્યો છે.
એટલે so they just thought there was some political agenda, but on the contrary, a lot of people were upset because એમને કંઈક બીજી જ ફિલ્મ મોકલવી હતી. I don't know, maybe Kashmir File, I have no idea.
એટલે તમે બંને બાજુથી ક્યાંય ના નહોતા.
Yeah, we were just squeezed, and we had never witnessed આવું કોઈ દિવસ જોયું નહોતું કે કોઈ પણ. So strange tweets were coming. Congratulations from Kerala minister, Orissa and Assam, some northeast minister saying, wow, pride of India, you are going to all the best, but Gujarat માંથી કઈ નહીં. So, and it took a while before we got official letter, mainly because that screening happened. અને બધા પત્રકારો, journalists, TV, media influencers, it was packed house. We had to organize even a second show. That's where everything changed. એ બધાએ જોયું ને, એ લોકોને શોક લાગ્યો કે શિટ, ધીસ ઇઝ અ ડિઝર્વિંગ ફિલ્મ. આ બધા જે કહી રહ્યા છે બધું ખોટું છે. સો ફ્રોમ ટોપ ક્રિટિક, વેધર ઇટ્સ લાઈક અનુપમા ચોપરા, ટુ instead of criticizing or talking about the film, even if you watch their YouTube video today, most of them said, let's clear the air first. આ ફિલ્મ કોઈ ફિલ્મની કોપી નથી, બહુ જ ઓરિજિનલ સરસ ફિલ્મ છે. So this is when everyone started paying attention, and more people wanted to see it, like you said, કે હવે બધાને જોવાની ઈચ્છા હતી, બધે ફિલ્મ સ્ટાર, ડાયરેક્ટર, and so we did preview shows. So there was a whole lot of celebrities we could never imagine, whether stars like Deepika Padukone and Kiara Advani, and and like just the directors and who's who were there at the show, but in a good way, because we know that the buzz has gone good, and this is when finally we get letter. That okay, you have a letter, and only when we submit the letter we can start our campaign. તો અમે જ્યારે પહોંચ્યા લોસ એન્જલિસમાં, ત્યાં સુધીમાં our release was ruined in India, and we were expecting some support from Gujarat. So કશો સપોર્ટ તો ન જ આવ્યો. ફોરગેટ સપોર્ટ, વી ડિડન્ટ ઇવન ગેટ અ ટ્વીટ. I mean, નાનું એક ટ્વીટ કે ભાઈ ગુજરાતી ફિલ્મ જઈ રહી છે, ટીલ ટુડે, નોટ ઇવન અ ટ્વીટ કે ભાઈ કોંગ્રેચ્યુલેશન.
ફાઇનાન્સર તો નહીં જ મળ્યા.
ફાઇનાન્સ તો ન મળ્યા. So, but
પણ
then
flowers બી નહીં
so
મળ્યા.
then we thought that there are just so many Gujaratis who are doing very well. So my team who are all of them are non-Gujarati. अरे गुजरात एक डॉक्टर है वो बिलियनर है अमेरिका में. Oh, some brothers are like masala king, there, they will, for them it will be nothing to give us $100,000-$200,000 and help a Gujarati film which is going to Oscar. So they were reaching out, the whole team, and we had like some 15-20 of us. So the initial response, oh yes, of course, wow, this is so good, congratulations, Nalin bhai jode baat karao phone ma. So, and then they'll tell me, oh, you have to go here, you have to go to San Francisco, go to Seattle, have a dinner with this very rich Gujarati guys. So I went them, met them, meet their daughters, took photograph, because they told me, કે they'll tell me, अच्छा મારી છોકરીને પણ બહુ ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ છે ફિલ્મમાં, એને એક્ટર થવું છે બધું. And he said, don't worry, everything is done, Nalin bhai, don't worry, this is America, તમે આવી ગયા, all the way we'll go. And we kept reaching out to them for any kind of sponsorship. Like we wanted to bring Bhavin Rabari. Our nano chokro હતો એનો. મેં કીધું, જો, if somebody can sponsor, air ticket, and stay, minimum. Campaign માટે we needed 2-3 car, because they were so expensive in LA. We didn't have budget like, people are spending usually 70-80 crore, on a budget, on a huge amount of money.
It 8 times more than your film budget.
So we knew that the reality was very different. અને જ્યારે અમે કીધું, અમારે છતાં પણ 3 કરોડનું બજેટ હતું, કારણ કે we had sold the film to Netflix.
બિલકુલ.
હા, તો નેટફ્લિક્સથી પૈસા આવેલા. So we said, we are going to spend this money, and when that money run out, પાછા આવતા રહીશું. પણ એમાં એવું થયું કે publicist, she came to know, she said, I love your film. Oh my God, you are so late. You stand such a good chance, This could have gone all the way. American publicist who is expert. And now I've got to know you, તમે એટલા બધા સારા માણસ છો. Actually, તમે પૈસા લઈને પાછા વ્યા જાઓ. He said, I don't want you spend your $3 lakh, કે તો કેમ, કે તો કોઈ ચાન્સ જ નથી તમારું, કોઈ શોર્ટલિસ્ટ, કંઈ ચાન્સ, ઇટ્સ ટુ લેટ, He said, but everybody started campaign in August. Your come here is 4th November. Voting it closing in 20 days. Which Academy member will see the film? So we were very depressed. Then me and my producer, my team, we sat at our hotel. Yaar, shoo kariye? This is like crazy. It's a lot of money to lose. So Dheer and me, we looked. I said, like, come on. We're never going to get this chance. Forget winning. Forget anything. We will. But at least we start screening, so we'll get to meet Academy member. There are all these people. Somebody will come. Let's believe. Go back and believe in film. કે આપણે આપણો જે શ્રદ્ધા અને વિશ્વાસ હતો ફિલ્મમાં એ પાછા લાવીએ. By then we had no support from anyone. The all Gujarati Samaj thing had fallen apart. We were even, like, publicists told us that જ્યારે શો કરીએ એકેડમી મેમ્બર ત્યારે કોઈ ઓડિયન્સ હોય તો વધારે સારું લાગશે. So we had reached out to them કે ભાઈ તમે આવશો ફિલ્મ જોવા? તો કે હા, we'll send 200 people, don't worry. પછી કે, oh, but there's a parking which costs $20. So then we said, okay, we will pay for the parking. Forget the ticking. And anyway, in the end, no one, 5-6 લોકો આવ્યા. Free જોવા માટે પણ film.
Free with free parking.
Free with free parking. અને ઉપરથી ખાવાનું we had organized for 200 people, which we had to, give it out in LA on a skid row.
ક્યાં જાઉં?
બધા અમેરિકાના જે
ક્યાં સંતાવું?
અમેરિકામાં જે બિચારા ઘર વગરના માણસો હતા એમને. So while we were doing all this thing, આપણા જે એક્સટર્નલ મિનિસ્ટર છે જયશંકર, એમની ડોટર LA છે, મેઘા, and she loved the film. એને જોઈ ટ્રાયબેકો, he said, like, oh my God, I'm so proud of this Indian film. And she's away from all politics, but so she's a great human being. He said, like, I will make 1 or 2 call, that you should, and she was not thinking Gujarati or not, So
thank God.
So she called this gentleman called Paresh Ghelani.
Of course I know Paresh. He's a friend of mine.
Right. So Paresh bhai ને હું મળ્યો. Paresh bhai film જોઈ. and said, "What do you need?" I said, like, look, right now we can't hire because एक screening, $30,000 to $80,000 screening fee during Oscar. एक च show करवाना. You need that kind of a budget. And I said, we are on very limited budget and we need a address in Beverly Hill. So he said, I love the film, whatever you want. You come, stay in my house, do this. So he had a screening room, which had a cozy 12-15 seat. And we realized, એનાથી વધારે તો કોઈ આવવાનું નથી જોવા. So we started doing screening there. And our first 2 screening were really bad because academy member who came, એ લોકો આમ ગુસ્સાથી ના આવેલા. કારણ કે આખું અમારી સામે આખું સ્મિયર કેમ્પેન ચલાવેલું જે બીજી ફિલ્મો હરીફાઈમાં હતી. એમણે કીધું કે આ લોકો તો લોબી કરીને આવ્યા છે, આ ગુજરાતી ફિલ્મ છે એટલે કે ગવર્મેન્ટની ફિલ્મ છે. એન્ડ they had played a victim card. So the academy member came, they took our producer aside and he said, like, I'm giving you flat 4 days and I'll make sure you never step a foot in Los Angeles. So he said, what did I do, madam? There was a tall black American woman. He said, I know how you've got your film here. I know everything about it. So he said, like, what? How? There was a whole committee. He said, anyway, but I'm here to see. So she was really upset. And he said, like, why don't you watch the film? I'm available. We have drinks. We'll talk about it. And she was accompanied by 2 other members. And we were like really scared, So she watched the film and જોઈને બહાર આવી. બીજા પણ મેમ્બર હતા 8-10 મેમ્બર. આ બધું પરેશભાઈની ઘરમાં.
એક સેકન્ડ હું ઇન્ટ્રોડ્યુસ કરી દઉં. આ પરેશ ગેલાણી જેની વાત ચાલી રહી છે એ સંજુ ફિલ્મની અંદર વિકી કૌશલે જે કમલીનું પાત્ર કર્યું છે ને એ છે આ પરેશ ગેલાણી. દેટ ઇઝ ધ એકચ્યુઅલ મેન હુ ઇઝ ધ બેસ્ટ ફ્રેન્ડ ઓફ સંજય દત્ત. અને એનો ભાઈ બીજો એક છે જય, હુ ઇઝ અ ફ્રેન્ડ ઓફ માઇન. જય કીપ્સ કમિંગ ટુ અમદાવાદ વેરી ફ્રીક્વન્ટલી. સો પરેશ and Jay, of course. And they've also been financiers of great films like Saab, Biwi or Gangster and many more. But anyway,
right.
go on.
Exactly. So correct. So Paresh Bhai, the great human being and supporter of Cello Show in Hollywood. So basically we did screening આ બધું એમના ઘરે. So the members were upset. આ પિક્ચર જોયા પછી આમ દૂર વાઇન પીધા કરે, આમ નજીક નો આવે. એમણે કીધું બધાને બોલવા દો. એ બધા બોલી લીધા પછી આવીને પ્રોડ્યુસર કે ડિરેક્ટર કોણ છે? તો કે આ છે. પહેલા આવીને મને કીધું કે આઈ એમ સો મૂવ્ડ બાય યોર ફિલ્મ એન્ડ but I knew that she had screamed earlier. So I said, oh, thank you so much. Oh my God, what a wonderful tribute to cinema. And આમ તેમને બધું વાતો કરી. Then she went to my producer and said, I really apologize what I said. It's so ignorant of me. So that was really, we saw the power of cinema. He said, not only that, tomorrow, he said, oh, we are doing, how many shows you have? We have so many. And he said, I'm going to fill up your show tomorrow. I'm going to tell all academy members I know, they are coming to watch your film. So we said, oh, thank you so much. And really she called and people said, oh, it's Victoria who sent us to see you. They're like, what? Yeah. They're literally coming by word of mouth to Paresh Bhai's house to watch films, So in a way, slowly, but there was not enough time.
એટલે આ જો ઓગસ્ટથી શરૂ થયું હોત તો આનો
So
મેજિક
it
કઈ
would
જુદો
have been
હોત.
very different, and so even Paresh Bhai, based on his experience, also told me that, like, look, so I said, now we are just enjoying, we are meeting every day amazing, talented filmmaker, composer, Hans Zimmer ની આખી team, પછી, એના પછી Black Panther ની આખી team જોઈ ગઈ, એના પછી Harvey Keitel, એ આવ્યો picture જો, I said, I love this film, I'm going to host a show.
Wow.
So like Bhavin Rabari is feeding Pani Puri to Harvey Keitel, had 10 million views,
Fantastic.
So after the film, there was like Pani Puri served. So he and his wife Daphne, they organized 2 shows. And they said, we just love this film. There's no chance, પણ એમાં ઘણું બધું જાણવા મળ્યું કે એમાં બેઝિકલી દેટ લોટ ઓફ ધીસ પીપલ, ધારો કે ક્વેન્ટિન ટરન્ટોની ટીમના માણસો, પ્રોડ્યુસર, he himself, any casting director, Victoria Thomas, they all loved the film, but they are not member of International Film Voting Committee. So અડધું કેમ્પેન થયા પછી અમને ખબર પડી કે they are coming and loving the film, but they can't vote for us. So we have a publicist. I said, like, what happened? He said, yeah, of course I'm telling you that it doesn't matter. Don't feel happy that you got this guy and that guy. I know the other day Jack Nicholson's daughter was there. She loved the film. પછી તાશન કરીને પબ્લિશર આવે છે, એની ઓનર આવી હતી, she loved the film, he said, but these people doesn't matter, we need to make a surgical strike, 4 દિવસ બાકી છે, you have to find people who are in the international film voting committee, because where are they? He said many of them are in Paris, Rome, Italy, London, Sydney and Tokyo. Oh my God. So then in 48 we were organizing show આખી દુનિયામાં. Again we try to reach out to different Gujarati Samaj because they are everywhere. મેં કીધું ભાઈ તમે શો એક ઓર્ગેનાઇઝ કરો, all you have to do is just help us. But we realized it's not going to work out. So we did professionally with Soho House. So Soho House જે છે એના ઘણા બધા સેન્ટર છે and they loved the film. So they became partners. So એ લોકોએ લંડનમાં, પેરિસમાં, રોમમાં show karo. And then we had just one day left to close, and our money was also running out. So we packed our bag and said, okay, it was a great run. By now we had met everyone, amazing actor, director, producer, composer, Diane Warren, the songwriter, in 12 time. So she saw film 4 time, So she loved the film, So and then we had 2 hours discussion with her. Lawrence Bender, who's the producer of all Tarantino film. So he invited us to his house. Then we got invited to High School Musical producer Bill Borden's house. And, like a lot was happening, like every day we were going somewhere. Pachi ek Dion Bibb karine cameraman che, he's 2-time Oscar winner for Chicago and Memoirs of Geisha.
Yes.
So he hosted a screening. So then he brought the whole Australian Hollywood.
Wow.
So the Australians are supporting Gujarati cinema. So like the whole clan of Australian, there are quite a lot of them, starting from whether it's Russell Crowe to Radha Mitchell to directors and producers and George and John Colley, who's a great writer, who's written movies of Dev Patel, Monkey Man. So in a way, we said, okay, we had a great run. Let's go, So we came back to India, and I wanted to just, though so much happened, so I said, I'm going to go to Goa for 3-4 days. And I literally arrived in Goa, and Dheer is calling me that, hey, we just got a letter, we've been shortlisted. I said, what? I said, what are you saying? He said, yeah, we have to go back to LA. કે પાછું જવાનું છે હોલિવૂડમાં. Shortlist. So suddenly, since Lagan was the last film which was shortlisted, we were shortlisted. So this is unbelievable. Suddenly in the academy, there are 15 flags, which is the India's flag, there. Because they don't write, koi naam no lakhe, picture no naam nahi, director no naam nahi, koi nahi, khali country na flag. Because it's like Olympic,
Yeah.
So they have all the flags on the screen, and it's like, wow, my God, this is like 22 years.
This is us.
So we thought now Indian embassy or consul will help us in LA. They were clueless. He said, what is this? No, we have got no intimation from INB. I said, like, forget it. Now we just go and try to do as much as we can. But we said, how do we go now? We had just barely managed to get some money to buy
back.
tickets, but we had spent all the money. There's no new income coming. But Dheer said, you jump onto the flight, let me talk, and we figure out something. I said, now Parishbhai had done too much. I have no courage to ask him again, to do anything, because we literally, so I said, we will find some other sources. Now we knew a lot more people. Many of them were, humne phone karta tha, bhai, congratulations, So we made one more attempt to reach out to, some of the very wealthy Gujarati people that now we are, like little, now academy has chosen us.
હવે અમને સિરિયસલી લો.
હવે તો લ્યો, હવે તો એમણે વોટ આપ્યા છે. પણ કંઈ થયું નહીં તેમના તરફથી. પણ અહીંયા when we landed at the airport, so Dhee told me that, I'm with my friend, I'm at a meeting and I'm with a friend. I've just met Isha Ambani. And, she has a screening room. And she's very happy to give us, that screening room. So why don't you just drive there and drop DCP and organize tomorrow's show? Because we didn't have time. So literally after like 26 hours of flight, we were driving to this place to drop DCP, the whole team, 4 car. While we are going there, I get another message. Oh, they are saying maybe there are a couple of rooms. You can stay there also.
Oh.
While I find another Airbnb. So we arrived there, and when we arrived, we realized it's like one of the most amazing Beverly Hill palace. Literally, it was a palace. It had the biggest pool of Hollywood, swimming pool, heated pool, and had a private screening room with 40 people who can watch. And there were just rooms. We till today don't know how many rooms there were in that house. Massive house. Which, which
This is Isha Ambani's house.
no, they were renting it.
Acha, okay.
So they had rented it for 2 years or 1.5 years or something like that. And their rental was still on, So, but they were not staying there.
Ah.
So they said, hey, if you want to stay these 4 weeks, why don't you? So, and then
Kya
we
hata?
then we
Tame
told,
kya hata?
"Tame
Tamara
બે room
charan
નથી,
kya
અહીંયા તો બડા ઘણા બધા room છે." He said, okay, all of you take one room,
Oh, wow.
A palatial room with, like, the publicist, American publicist, she comes to this place. He said, like, this is a disaster. If they see this house, nobody's going to vote for you. I said, શું વાત કરો છો? Okay, yeah, they all will think you cheated them. I said, but we don't have.
આ અમારું ઘર નથી.
અમે ભાખરી ને થેપલા પણ ગુજરાતી લઈને આવ્યા છીએ અહીંયા. So that we don't have to order some,
પેલું આપણે ગુજરાતીઓમાં ખબર છે કે પેલું બાળક ભીખલું રાખે એમ કે નાનું હોય ત્યારે બાળક ના જન્મતું હોય એટલે માનતા રાખી હોય કે અમે મારું બાળક આવશે ને તો હું ભીખલી થઈશ એમ 5 વર્ષ સુધી, એટલે ભીખ માંગીને મારા બાળકને ઉછેરીશ એમ, કે જેને કારણે બેસિકલી હું એટલું બધું હ્યુમિલિએશન લેવા પણ તૈયાર છું ઇફ આઈ ગેટ અ ચાઇલ્ડ. તો આપણે લગભગ ભીખલી પરિસ્થિતિમાં છીએ.
સાચી વાત છે.
અને કોક આવીને કહે છે હવે તમને નહીં અપાય કે તો બહુ રીચ દેખાવ છે.
કે હવે તો અહીંયા તો મેં કીધું હવે ઓકે ધીસ ઇઝ અ ડિઝાસ્ટર in making, but 4 days later we got invited to Red Sea Film Festival. So ત્યાં આખો show કરી. Literally we were flying one day everywhere. 1 day show in Tokyo because we were releasing in Japan back here. But by then the buzz was really great because word of mouth was great. We didn't have money. We know people were talking about our film. એક buzz ચાલુ થઈ ગયો હતો જ્યાં જઈએ ત્યાં આગળ. At least within the Academy member.
Right.
So there I met Priyanka Chopra. So we started talking. He said, oh, as soon as I come back to LA, I'm going to host a show for you,
Wow.
So then Priyanka Chopra show happened, then there was a lot of new people who came there. So I think that kind of, the second round was mainly a lot of people helping us, The first round was we alone. Second, we suddenly felt crazy love, and like literally when Priyanka Chopra, Lawrence Bender screening, Tarantino team, when all this screening got over, then Harvey Keitel and his wife screening, Hans Zimmer team screening, I said like, who wants Oscar now? This is great, આ બધું થઈ ગયું. Like this is just super, that they are seriously talking about film, and not only talking, they're inviting us to their home. We had breakfast with them, lunch with them. They said, no, come with your team, and we meet up. And so then we got invited at the Academy, which was again a very rare event. Akho YouTube upar video hase Academy channel upar. So me, Bhavin Rabari, Dheer, my music composer, and we were all invited at the Academy. So the Academy has something called Academy in Conversation. So we had a screening at the Academy, which was just absolutely amazing. It's the same place where the Oscar happens. And in that conversation, they have only Academy member. And it's after the Q&A, moderator Q&A, they just open it up to meet and mingle with the Academy member. So when those events happened, then we got invited to go to Golden Globes and, then Los Angeles has a Asia International Film Festival. So we won the Best Picture there. So all the stars were there again. Golden Globe also had, all the stars. So I mean, in a way, it just felt like, okay, this is like really amazing. We know that by the time we had understood કે આ nomination કેવી રીતે કામ કરે છે, and we knew that we are not going to get nominated.
Okay.
And we will be out with great filmmakers. Like Inaritu will be out. You can imagine the guy who is already Oscar winner. Leonardo DiCaprio jode Revenant જેવી film બનાવી છે. Park Chan-wook. So we know that it will be very tough because many countries which were in the running for the 5, some of them are extremely patriotic. Like they said, okay, Ireland ni film jai che, every
Entire Ireland is pushing
Irish
it.
member will vote for it. કારણ કે and just if you look at production of Game of Thrones, you have enough Academy member to get nominated. So almost every alternative year, you will see there's an Irish film in top 5, always. Because they love their country. The Argentina is the same. Brazil is same. They, even though they might say, I don't like the film my country has sent, but I will vote for it. So for them, it's a bit like a athlete in Olympic game. That jitwano to gold medal. So when we heard that, our publicist, who is very American, never come to India, said, why don't we speak to some of our Indian distributor who are doing cello show release. તો મેં બધાને ફોન કર્યો કે ભાઈ ઇન્ડિયામાં ઘણા બધા મેમ્બર છે અત્યારે. પહેલાં નહોતા, but right now we have almost 35 members. But I don't know them. But even, 20% of them vote, our chances will go very high. Because their 6-7 vote can put us in top 5. We were that close, So, I mean, whatever assumption we had, but we got from every part another shocking revelation કે ભાઈ તમે ઇન્ડિયાને ભૂલી જાઓ. કીધું કેમ? તો કે ઇન્ડિયામાં આખું આપણી ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી જેવી છે, ઇઝ બિલ્ડ ઓન jealousy. So they will make sure they don't vote for you. He said, you don't count. So I said, like, are you serious? Like, nobody, people who came to see our film, many of them were member, producer, director, they came and they hugged our star. He said, yeah. And one of the person told us that I have 40 years of experience. I'll tell you that you forget India. Now that you are insider, I'll tell you, koi Indian vote nahi ape tamne.
Oh my God.
He said, they will be really happy that you fall and you don't win. That will be the thing. So, and we told this to our publicist. He said, what are you saying? I said, like, India, we can't expect. He said, like, we can't expect any vote. So that thing sort of stayed with me, and sure enough, there's no way of knowing whether how many votes came from India or not. But we were able to get some inside information, ke bhi aa sachu hoy ke nahi. So vaguely we understood that yes,
That's
all
how it
our
is.
votes came usually Europe and America and everywhere else, and just percentage wise,
Just like your finance.
Asia, yeah, they were like really, so that's where certain politics, lobbying, a lot of things play also in Oscar. When it's not like, that's why certain countries are always ahead, whether it's France, Germany, Italy, they always send their film because they have way too many Academy members who can vote for their own movies. So we realized we were against a lot of such thing, but among all that could have been, એ બધા ઓબ્સ્ટેકલ પાર થઈ ગયા હોત જો if we had money. કારણ કે છેલ્લા ચેપ્ટરમાં the money is a big thing. Because એક full page advertisement આપવી પડે, variety, Hollywood reporterની અંદર. You have to, constantly throw lunch and dinner for the Academy members. So there has to be champagne, wine, top class food, everything. And each screening on an average is $80,000. Ek screening.
My God.
Ek screening na $80,000. So you can imagine if you do 10 screening, you have to have like 12 screening, you need $1 million approximately. So I think anyway, so in short, the release was starting parallelly worldwide, the film, and and many countries had purchased it, and we continued that journey to the release. So we were in Japan after the shortlist nomination, and the Japanese release went very well, then Australia, then New Zealand, and then till recently, we opened this Christmas in Brazil.
Yes.
Now it's 6 weeks, still playing there. So in a way, it found its life, cello show, and it's prevailing. બટ આપણે ગુજરાતી છે તો એક તો થોડું થાય દુઃખ કે ગુજરાતીથી જેટલો સપોર્ટ મળવો જોઈએ સમાજથી, ફરગેટ સપોર્ટ, જસ્ટ ટુ કમ એન્ડ વોચ ફ્રી શો. એટલે લાઈક યુ નોટ ઇવન આસ્કિંગ એની મની કે ભાઈ
એટલે અહીંયા જે ગુજરાતી ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીના લોકો દુઃખી થાય છે કે ગુજરાતમાં બનતી ગુજરાતી ફિલ્મો ગુજરાતીઓ નથી જોતા. તમે ઓસ્કર સુધી જઈ આવ્યા પછી પણ તમારી પીડા પણ એ જ છે
એ જ છે
કે નથી જોતા.
અને ઓસ્કાર નોમિનેશન પછી પણ જ્યારે સ્ટેટિસ્ટિક અમારી આગળ આવ્યું, ગુજરાતી ફિલ્મ જ્યારે આપણે રિલીઝ કરી છેલ્લો શો ઇન્ડિયામાં, અવર હાઈએસ્ટ એન્ટ્રી વર ઇન કેરાલા એન્ડ સાઉથ ઇન્ડિયા સ્ટેટિસ્ટિક વાઇઝ, ગુજરાતમાં નહીં. તો લાઈક ધ સિનેમા હોલ ઇન ચેન્નાઈ એન્ડ બેંગ્લોર હેડ 80% ફૂટફોલ. આખો ચાર્ટ અમારી આગળ છે પીવીઆરનો, લાઈક કમ્પ્લીટલી સબટાઇટલ વર્ઝન, પછી કોલકાતા, પછી કોચી, ત્રિવેન્દ્રમ, કોયમ્બતુર જેવી જગ્યાએ, અને યુ કેન સી ફર્સ્ટ 20માં કોઈ ગુજરાત શહેરનું ક્યાંય નામ નથી. બેઝિકલી જસ્ટ નો વન વેન્ટ ટુ વોચ ઓર વેરી ફ્યુ પીપલ વેન્ટ ટુ વોચ મૂવી ઇન ગુજરાત. છેલ્લો શો.
તમે અમરેલીના છો, અમદાવાદમાં એનઆઈટીની અંદર ભણ્યા છો, તમારું ફિલ્મ મેકિંગ અહીંયાના જ મિત્રોની સાથે પાંગર્યું છે આખું,
અહીંયા જ શીખેલું,
અહીંયાની કિટલીઓ પર ને અહીંયાની રેસ્ટોરન્ટ્સ ને અહીંયા તમે આટલો બધો સમય કાઢ્યો છે. તમે તમારા જ બાળપણ, તમારી જ મેમરીઝ, તમારું ગામ, તમારી નજીકનું આખું જીવન જે છે એ જ પાછું ગુજરાતી ભાષામાં જ, પાછું ગુજરાતી કલાકારોની સાથે જ અહીંયા જ શૂટ કરેલી ફિલ્મ છે. હવે આ પહેલાંની તમારી ફિલ્મો હોય, સમસારા હોય કે વેરી ઓફ ફ્લાવર્સ હોય કે એંગ્રી ઇન્ડિયન ગોડેસીસ હોય, આ બધા કરતાં તમને ઘણું વધારે સફળતા, અટેન્શન ગ્લોબલી એ તમારા પોતાના રૂટ્સની બનેલી ફિલ્મમાંથી મળ્યું છે. વેન યુ સી ઓલ ઓફ ધીસ એન્ડ વેન યુ સ્ટીલ ફીલ લાઈક why people don't recognize me on the roads in Ahmedabad, in India, how do you deal with this?
It's not about road, I just want people to see the movie rather than me. No, I mean, થોડીક વસ્તુ થાય કે,
no, I understand that it is the artist that feels like that.
As you said rightly, એક તો ઇમોશનલ અટેચમેન્ટ છે, કારણ કે મેં સૌથી પહેલો મારો મૂવી કેમેરો અહીંયા રવિવારી સાબરમતીમાં ભરાતી હતી, ખબર નહીં હવે
હજી છે.
સૌથી પહેલો કેમેરો મેં ત્યાંથી લીધેલો, 16 મિલીમીટર, એક ભંગારવાળા આગળથી જૂનો કેમેરો આવ્યો હતો. એને કીધું ભાઈ ચાલશે, તમે થોડુંક ઓઇલ નખાય. સો એન્ડ આઈ નો દેટ ઇટ વર્કડ. 2-3 મિનિટની ક્લિપ આઈ સ્ટાર્ટેડ
shooting on that camera.
Shot is in Ahmedabad, પેલા 16 mm ની રીલ આવતી હતી. So of course you feel that somewhere, some kind of a recognition that, અત્યાર સુધી like 30-40 awards, even the Arab people are giving us Best Picture award, Mill Valley, Japan, Spain, Best Picture. We were at 9 p.m. prime time news, So in Japan, when we got, I think 72nd in the prime time news at 9, they told us that it's a big deal in Japan because like Tom Cruise movie get 4 minutes, so you are getting this is like unbelievable. So no wonder we played 36 weeks there. So I think in all this, we didn't even win Best Picture in Gujarat, in Gujarati State Award. We won National Award. President gave us award. They gave award to Bhavin Rabari. They recognized talent, and in her speech she spoke about it, but no પ્રોત્સાહન to that kid. તો અમે એમ જ કીધેલું કે મને એવોર્ડ નહીં આપો, મારી દુકાન સારી ચાલે છે. પણ જે 6 છોકરા છે, જે એ 6 દે કમ ફ્રોમ વેરી બેકવર્ડ બેકગ્રાઉન્ડ. એક મોચીનો છોકરો છે, એકના ફાધર આ બિલ્ડિંગમાં બધી બ્રિક્સ, બધી ઈંટો ઉપાડવાનું કામ કરે છે, એમની હેલ્થ પણ સારી નથી, એક અને કડિયા મજૂર, અને એક તો બિચારો ઓફ થઈ ગયો, હી વોઝન્ટ વેલ એન્ડ કિડની ફેલિયર. હા, તો એ ગુજરી ગયો. તો હવે જેટલા છે એ લોકોને કંઈક સ્કોલરશિપ, અને અમે ઘણી બધી સંસ્થાઓ છે, બધાને વાત કરી, there are so many rich people કે ડોન્ટ ગીવ અસ મની, જસ્ટ લુક આફ્ટર ધેર એજ્યુકેશન. 5 વર્ષ સુધી એની ફીસ ભરી દો, બધાને ભણવાની ઈચ્છા છે, દે આર સુપર ટેલેન્ટેડ. We can't change the world, but 5 લોકો who have come in our contact, so ultimately, it just became too much of communication, convincing people, justifying how they great are, and, so whether it's government or individual, so we decided we'll only do what we can do, હવે બધાને, at the end of the Oscar campaign, we were able to, whatever money was saved after, so Netflix had something called Kick, which means if we get shortlist nomination, they'll give us more money.
Ah.
So when we got that more money, અમે શું કર્યું કે આ બધાના છોકરાના નામે FD કરી નાખી કે તમે when you will only get this money જ્યારે તમે 16 વર્ષના થશો ત્યારે. Because this is when I realized, because I knew that when I was 16, that's where I really needed money. When I was young, it didn't really matter whether I have money or not, 10, 12. But 16-17 વર્ષે, I thought that I wish I had more money, whether to study or to do this or buy a phone or a bicycle to start my education or a career or work. So I thought, let them have the money when they come. So by the time they reach 16, that money with the FD and whatever, they will have that time, whatever, 14, 15 lakh rupees each one of them.
Wow.
So instead of us giving right now some 50,000 rupees, which they will just spend in one day. They'll all will go and buy a smartphone, it's gone.
Yeah.
So I think, and then Bhavin, he was very talented. So he's been, I don't know, in case you might have seen, Ghani Badi ad film.
Yes, of course.
He's been coming there, and then even people like Hardik Pandya, his big fan, appreciate. So they have done I think 3 filmo, ad filmo સાથે કરેલી છે એની જોડે. So that's, and he's constantly proving his talent. હમણાં ટાટા સ્ટીલની એડમાં પણ એક અલગ જ તરીકનો રોલ કર્યો છે.
બિલકુલ.
But his parents are insisting કે નહીં સાહેબ એને પહેલા ભણવા દો. So now, so we have to follow, we can't do film and forget about this career. So we are now like extended family,
Absolutely.
So I think that's, all these are wonderful life lessons,
મારી પાસે એક સજેશન છે, તમે તમારી ફિલ્મ પછીની જે આ વાત કરીને એની ઉપર એક બીજી ફિલ્મ બનાવો, કારણ કે આ એટલી રોચક વાર્તા છે. કેટલું આમ 4-5 વાર તો વાત સાંભળતા મારા રૂવાડા ઊભા થઈ ગયા, કારણ કે it's so ironical that you are getting some amazing exposure and your work is being recognized, and at the same time you are sulking so much inside. So there is this flash, and then there is this fire.
No, sometimes you just say forget it, but then when you are here,
તમને એમ થાય કે અહીં સુધી પહોંચવાના હતા, આપણને કલ્પના નહોતી, પણ હવે છેક અહીંયા સુધી આવીને પાછા નથી જવું, એવું આમ થાય.
And when people really take out time અને જ્યારે જોવે ત્યારે we could see some changes coming in a small way. જ્યારે આપણે સિડની ઓપેરા હાઉસમાં એ જ ફેસ્ટિવલે છેલ્લો શોનું બીજી વાર સ્ક્રીનિંગ કરેલું લાસ્ટ યર. I went there, તો સિડની ઓપેરા હાઉસમાં there were a lot of Gujaratis. There were also, people who are like native Australian. So the first curiosity before it starts movie, કારણ કે એ લોકો બધા ફંક્શનમાં જતા જ હોય છે, ગરબા હોય, ગીતો હોય, આ હોય, પણ they are very surprised in this function આટલા બધા ધોળિયા શું કામ આવ્યા છે. So તો એને કીધું કે ભાઈ જો આ પેનલની ફિલ્મો અહીંયા બહુ રિલીઝ થયેલી છે, સમસારા બિગ બિઝનેસ એન્ડ એંગ્રી ઇન્ડિયન ગોડેસ, ઇવન ડોક્યુમેન્ટરી ફેથ કનેક્શન. તો ઓસ્ટ્રેલિયા ન્યુઝીલેન્ડના જે ડિસ્ટ્રીબ્યુટર છે રિયાલ્ટો, એ ભાઈ પણ હતા. ગુજરાતી ફિલ્મના આ ડિસ્ટ્રીબ્યુટર છે, આવા બ્લોન્ડ બ્લુ આવ્યા, એટલે એ બધી વાતો સાંભળતો હતો. આ કેટલું સરપ્રાઇઝિંગ લાગે છે કે આવા લોકો અહીંયા ડિસ્ટ્રીબ્યુટ કરી રહ્યા છે ફિલ્મની અંદર. અને પછી within the guests there were some celebrities of Australian cinema, so they were not aware who they were till sort of I pointed out their filmography કે ભાઈ આમને ઓસ્કાર વિનર, માસ્ટર એન્ડ કમાન્ડર, મેડ મેક્સ ના જે સ્ક્રીન રાઇટર, પછી મંકી મેનના જોન કોલી, રાધા મિચેલ, જેને બ્રુસ વિલિસ. So then people were just applauding, but that way they were curious what are they going to watch now, કારણ કે કોઈ જોઈ જ નહોતી ફિલ્મ. એક બે જણાએ નામ સાંભળેલું કે પોડકાસ્ટ કે કોઈ વોટ્સએપ ઉપર કંઈક થયેલું સીન, but no one had really had curiosity કે જોઈએ picture. So half of the people had given some donation to the festival, so they were forced to watch the film because dinner was after the movie.
બિલકુલ.
So એમાં એક quite interesting thing happened because આપણે ઇંગ્લિશમાં કહીએ ને, it just they were so shocked because it was some kind of audience. I mean, જે ભાઈ હતા ત્યાં વસાવડા ઘણા બધા ફિલ્મ, they were, audience was shocked. What did we watch? ગુજરાતમાં આવી ફિલ્મ બને છે, આવા કલાકારો છે આ છે એ પણ ગુજરાતી આ પણ ગુજરાતી કીધું આ બધા ગુજરાતના જ છે કલાકાર. સો આઈ સો ધ શોક વે ઇન અ પોઝિટિવ વે લાઈક એ લોકો એમ કે ને હલી ગયેલા બધા. સો ધ મોર ઇન્ટેલેક્ચ્યુઅલ એન્ડ અવેર યુ આર મોર શેકન અપ. કે મને તો બધી ખબર છે જાઝ ને આન તેનું હું શેક્સપિયરની વાત કરું પણ મને આટલી ખબર નથી. કપલ ઓફ ધેમ ઇવન કન્ફેસ્ડ they came and said like look I feel so ashamed as a Gujarati to tell you કે મને ખબર જ નથી આ 18 વર્ષ જૂની ફિલ્મ છે and I should have been the first one to watch such cinema. And now after watching the film while you were busy I'm googling and I'm reading Hollywood Reporter review, Spanish review, Japan review. I'm seeing poster, you are at the academy, like which how and not. So એક છે કે they change આવી શકે કે નહીં I don't know, but somewhere અગર ગુજરાતી ઓડિયન્સ જેવી રીતે કેરાલા, આસામ, ઓરિસ્સા, બસ બધી જગ્યાએ રીમા દાસ જે મારી ફ્રેન્ડ છે એની ફિલ્મ ઓસ્કારમાં ગઈ હતી મારી જેમ જ છેલ્લો શો વિલેજ રોકસ્ટાર. Within 24 hours, Chief Minister of Assam sanctioned her 1 crore rupees. He said, I know how hard it is to fight this campaign. We can't give you a lot of money. We know you need 10, 20, 15 crore. But this is little help, whatever we can do, because we are government. So those kind of gestures
stay with you.
Yeah.
Actually.
And if we don't do that, forget about me. We had a great journey, no regrets. But what lesson do we give to young people, who constantly ask, "Mare પણ આવી film બનાવી છે." And such talent we have, writer, actor, you do theatre, how talented people are there,
Absolutely.
all over. And we have done audition in Ahmedabad, in Rajkot, in, Jamnagar, Junagadh, and those kids gave us a tough time to choose. Not because we were not finding it. We were saying like, they are so good, 50 of them. How do we select 5?
Wow.
You literally have to find a courage to
say no.
And you discover કે ભાઈ હા talent આને
તમે વાતની અંદર એવું કીધું કે અમને બાય ધેન અમને સમજાઈ ગયું હતું કે કેવી રીતે નોમિનેટ થવાય. સો જો નેક્સ્ટ ટાઈમ તમારી ફિલ્મ જાય તો દેન યુ નો. આપણે ધારો કે थ्रू दिस पॉडकास्ट इफ यू वांट टू टेल पीपल कि कैसे ये होता है, क्या है इसका गणित, क्या है
इसका गणित, तो ये है कि सबसे पहले तो अच्छी फिल्म होनी चाहिए.
એ તો સ્વાભાવિક છે કે
એનાથી તો શરૂઆત છે. ઘણી વખત નથી જતી સારી ફિલ્મો. એક સારી ફિલ્મ હોવી જોઈએ એન્ડ अच्छी फिल्मों के साथ साथ वो एक यूनिवर्सल भी होनी चाहिए કે આપણે અમુક એવી ફિલ્મો હોય છે જે આપણે ઘણીવાર મોકલેલી છે જે આર નોટ એક્સપોર્ટેબલ. I mean, I love Shah Rukh Khan as an actor, as a mainstream cinema, but when you send Pehli, it's a wrong choice because Pehli will not translate. The foreign audience have no cultural code to understand કે આની વાર્તા શું છે, શું ચાલી રહ્યું છે. So it will not. So આવી ઘણીવાર mistake થાય. So one is to how to get a right film which will appeal to the Academy member, because after all it's an American award. Meant for American cinema. They just have a category called international feature, because while recognizing great American English language talent, they realized so many people are making movies in different languages. So earlier it was called the best foreign language film, which now became best international film. So it's just one vote, for best international feature film. Meanwhile, main Oscar category, you might have as many as, I don't know, 70 different votes. So ek એ છે. And a second is that you need financial support. Finance is a big reality, and any publicist, PR, regardless of which country they are, whether it's English movie, whether it's Wicked this year, whether it's The Brutalist, The Substance, કંઈ પણ હોય, they have to have budget. Like film like The Brutalist made with $9 million is spending 25 in Oscar campaign. Roma spent $25 million. So you have to have a money, and if there is no money, it's very hard to win. I don't think there is an example of a film with just very little budget they were able to go. Purely because the way the ecosystem is. So I met also, Kiran Rao and Amir Khan production, because they had asked us Like, can you advise us? Before that, there was a Kerala filmmaker who went after. The two films have gone after ours.
जी.
And we openly share our experience. We told them that, like, look, there are so many boxes you need to take, and ultimately the key thing is that how to show your film to the Academy member. The toughest thing is how will they watch it? Because they have to watch 300 movies during the season, Oscar season, and simply no one has time. And if you're a bigger star, bigger director, where do you have time to watch 300 movies? And especially in international category, if you don't watch more than 15 film, and if you are not registered member to vote, you cannot vote. You are disqualified. Because if you watch 7 foreign film, then you still can't vote. Because in order to do justice to other movies, there are minimum numbers of films to be watched. So a lot of members get disqualified there. So it's a, besides mathematics, it's a plan that you want to make sure that
આ 7 લોકો મારી ફિલ્મ જુએ.
જોવે જેટલા મેમ્બર હોઈ શકે કે આ લોકોને ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ છે ઇન્ટરનેશનલ ફીચર ફિલ્મમાં કે they watch, and then very often if they watch, because usually they are good film, they are going to vote for it. But making them watch is one of the toughest thing to do. And after, in order to create constant curiosity, you need to be in the trade. So like director roundtable hoy, so you need like $40,000 to be on it. It's a paid thing, which I didn't know. So I got invited. I said, oh my God, I'm really excited. I'll be sitting with Inaritu and talking my cinema, and then say, okay, 40,000 you need to pay beforehand. So the Variety, Hollywood Reporter, everything is paid. So of course the advertisement is paid, but some famous newspaper, we knew the film critic loved the movie and shared his view to our publicists. Like, look, my review is coming out in New York, and and I'm just going to go all the way. I love this movie. I watched it 2 times now. So if you want to organize any screening in New York, so we put our budget in New York. We organized screening. We were hoping that it will be in New York Times and this big magazine. The review will come and an Academy member will want to see the film. The review didn't come, and luckily we still managed to get member. Then publicists said that, okay, sorry, your review was not accepted by the editor because you as a producer are not on their vendor list. So we said, उसमें क्या है, vendor list में चढ़ जाते हैं.
बताओ क्या है.
नाम कहाँ लिखता है? कहता है, no, the vendor list. I said, who are the vendor list? He said, no, you have to have given minimum 2 advertisement in New York Times. So I said, how much? Those are $38,000 each. So then we realized that it's such a scam, and sometimes our media doesn't know that, like we have a media net here with the, certain newspaper. You have same thing with LA Times. When LA Times carried some director and actor's photo in LA, whole of India, I know all the social media is going, oh my God, Los Angeles Times is talking about this director. Yeah, but that's $80,000. You pay $80,000 and you are a genuine contestant. You are
contender.
Contender. And if you are a genuine contender, and if you, on top of that you are shortlist nominee, you can buy everything. The big difference between India and US is that, especially in Hollywood, they have legalized corruption. એ લોકોએ કરપ્શનને લીગલાઇઝ જ કરી દીધું છે, એટલે સીધો ઈમેલ જ આવે કે ભાઈ તમારે આ જોઈએ છે તો $25,000. It's official.
Everything has a price.
Yeah, everything has a price. Whether it's billboards, screening, shows, and it's like
parties,
you want a famous critic to come and present your movie. Like very often that's an attraction. કે ભાઈ ચલો LA Times અમે એક સ્ક્રીનિંગ કર્યું તો LA Times જોડે. It was $40,000. That comes with a package with a famous film critic. So he also gets paid. So he comes and talk. Like the Academy conversation, like right now what you are doing with me. Suppose we are doing it in LA. They will be paying you. Say, oh, you do this conversation. So then
એમણે મને કાંઈ પૈસા નથી આપ્યા કરવા માટે, મેં લીધા નથી અને આપ્યા પણ નથી.
That is, I'll pay you when you reach there. No, I mean, this is very unique to Oscar campaign,
Ji.
by the way. But anyway, so if you have a good film, make a proper strategy, there is a way that you could, hope to go ahead, and you can see with many movies like this year, a lot of people are surprised, oh, why this movie? Why is it? But, Netflix is pushing movie called Emilia Paris big way, and so if you read the reviews on internet, audience, or the Rotten Tomato meters and all, they're saying, why this film is getting so many nominations? Because in a way, the streamers
Who is pumping it?
have become really, really powerful.
Powerful.
And many of this game is become Apple versus Netflix versus Amazon Prime. Yeah.
પણ નલિનભાઈ આઈ મસ્ટ સે આઈ ડોન્ટ નો આપણે તો આ બધી ઘટના બની એ પહેલાં મળ્યા હતા અને આઈ વોઝ સો હેપી ટુ સી ધ ફિલ્મ એન્ડ આઈ વોઝ સો પ્રાઉડ ઓફ યુ ઇવન દેન અને હવે તમે હો કે સ્નેહા દેસાઈ હોય કે પાયલ કપાડિયા હોય કે આપણા તરફથી જે આખું આમ more talented people are being received globally and coming into this global light is such a delight.
I think at the end of the day, we have to just keep doing what we love. Adbhut to chala kare. I don't know, you can't, I never made a film to go to Oscar, it's just, these things happen. I don't make film to win award, Mari pelli je, at least 18-19 વર્ષ સુધીની career since I made Samsar, you will never see my photo, I'm receiving an award. I never went to collect award. I always send my cast, my actor. I said, તમે જઈને લઈ આવો. I said, no, it's for best director. I said, છતાં મારા તરફથી thank you કહી દેજો. I'm just happy that it reaches to audience, So in a way, for me, the process is very important. Ke bhai, I love telling stories. I love making movies. When once it reaches the audience, which Cello Show has done, I mean, way beyond our expectation. Like right now, it's now dubbed in like 20 languages. We have like 40 different awards. In Japan, we did 36-week run. So much so that if you go on a Japanese Google, you will see કે જે ગુજરાતી જે 5 dish છે ફિલ્મમાં એની રેસિપી બુક is being sold in black. $320 સુધી.
Wow.
So they published another book about Gujarat. કારણ કે Japan was very curious કે ભાઈ આવું ઇન્ડિયામાં સિંહ શું કામ દેખાડે છે કે ઇન્ડિયામાં પેલો કાળિયો છોકરો કેમ છે these were the question they should be in Africa so the distributor decided to publish a whole book this is a 25 pages which goes in detail history of Gujarat and who are the Siddhis, Asiatic lion then about the film and the recipe book and the cast and the crew and where the actors came from. So in many ways people have stayed with these stories and I think that's what matters the most like Brazilian distributor ke હું 2 વર્ષ સુધી ક્યાં સૂતો હતો. I only discovered this film now and I want it, doesn't matter it's 2-year-old, I want to release it and I will gamble on it and the biggest I think compliment or bigger than Oscar was the ઇટાલિયન ફિલ્મ મેકર છે ગિસેપે ટોર્નાટોરે જેમણે સિનેમા પારાદીઝિયો ફિલ્મ બનાવી છે. બહુ જ ક્લાસિક ફિલ્મ, ઓલ ટાઈમ માય ફેવરિટ ફિલ્મ.
Yeah, there were so many comparisons with Cello Show.
So many comparison or accusation it's copied.
Yeah, Ani copied.
So finally, I had never met him, and so when he came to India, in Bombay Times, there's a front page, full page article. So they said, what, you are in India. He said, yes, I'm here for first time. And he said, what films do you know? He said, I only know Satyajit Ray and Pan Nalin, I said, what is going on? Everyone is sending me photograph. The same afternoon, I get a message from Film Heritage Foundation that, are you here? He wants to meet you. I said, of course, I'll come. Running, I go and meet him and said, like, I've seen Cello Show 3 times. And you have no, it's so wonderful. And I agree with the German newspaper, एक headline હતી કે spiritual successor of Cinema Paradiso is Cello Show. And he said, I agree with that totally. And and I have not seen all his films, but he has watched everything I had done, including documentary.
આ સાંભળીને મને ચોક્કસ એવું લાગે છે કે ઓસ્કાર હોય કે ના હોય એટલો બધો પ્રેમ મળ્યો છે આ ફિલ્મને.
Yeah, absolutely.
અને ગુજરાતમાં બનેલી ફિલ્મને તો એટલીસ્ટ મળ્યો છે. સો that your Gujarati childhood has paid up so well.
Yes, yeah. And I think I keep meeting a lot of young filmmakers who feel inspired, which is good also, કે ચલો બીજા કે ચલો હવે નલિનભાઈ હવે અમે કરશું, which is good.
We really hope કે તમે બીજી આવી જ એક સરસ મજાની ગુજરાતી ફિલ્મ આપો અને તમારી અત્યાર સુધીની જે બધી તકલીફો છે એ ફિલ્મ સાથે બધા ગુજરાતીઓ ભૂસી શકે. નલિનભાઈ, એવા કેટલા બધા ગુજરાતીઓ છે કે જે અત્યારે ફિલ્મ બનાવી રહ્યા છે. દે આર બબલિંગ, they've been trying really hard to do something. એવા ગુજરાતીઓ છે કે જે ઓસ્કરની નજીક જઈને, ગોલ્ડન ગ્લોબની નજીક જઈને આવ્યા છે. લાઈક લાપતા લેડીઝમાં સ્નેહા દેસાઈ હેઝ બીન વન ઓફ ધ રાઇટર્સ, અથવા તો પાયલ કપાડિયાની ફિલ્મ જે છે એ આવીએ. ભારતીય તરીકે ગુનીત મોંઘાની ફિલ્મો જે છે આટલા બધા વખતથી આવે છે. એઝ અ પ્રોડ્યુસર they've been able to kind of push many interesting films. તમે આ બધાનું કામ જોઈ રહ્યા હશો અત્યારે, તમે ગ્લોબલ જે કામ જોઈ રહ્યા છો એની સાથે પણ તમને કોનામાં હોપ દેખાય છે અત્યારે કે શું, હુ આર ધ પીપલ કે જેની અંદર એ છે વોટ ઇટ ટેક્સ ટુ ગેટ ધેર? કારણ કે તમે હવે આ બધા અનુભવો જે અમારી સાથે શેર કર્યા એમાં ટેરેન્ટિનોથી લઈને you've almost met everybody, and you have seen how they have liked and given attention to an Indian film like yours.
I think, I don't think it is about any individual, I think ultimately if India has to reach near the Oscar, now I'm on the other side, and we just finished voting last night,
એ જે તમે અધર સાઈડ ઉપર છો એના વિશે પણ આપણે વાત કરીએ.
So we just finished voting last night, and I'm also in the executive committee, and the key thing is that it's really going to be about the film, and then it can be made by Payal Kapadia or Gunit Monga, or it won't much matter. One is going to be the film, as we said earlier. Then who is pushing the film? That's like which studio is behind it. That's going to play, at least for next 5-6 years, a big role till some new rules might come within the academy, because in the academy people are upset about certain things, because certain Oscars have gone to people who might not have anything to do with the film. Like so for example, I make a film, Cello Show, and imagine you were a reputed producer in Hollywood. You love the film, and I said, please help me. And you say, yes, I'll help you with the film, but main producer will be Devaki. And you give me my credit, and when the Oscar comes, I'll take a statue along with you. So you use all your connection, and you get, if my film wins Oscar, you also win Oscar. So this has happened.
So you need to have right kind of casting of this kind of
this
person
kind of
also.
people, and as I said, there's a lot of legalized corruption in Hollywood. You actually have people who are called Oscar whisperer. They ask you money. We have emails from them that, you pay me $100,000. And people told us, our publicist said, if you can use, great, it will be really helpful. Your chances will go very high. So those people can influence the film as well. And very often the deserving film can go away, So right now, like the current controversy is that Emilia Perez has so many nominations, more than Lawrence of Arabia, more than Godfather. How? And who is liking this film, and who is voting for this film?
Who are the whisperers?
Who are the whisperers, and where the lobbying happens. And then there are many different ways. When we were doing our campaign, we saw how you can manipulate the voters, which means, let's say, I would say 30% of Academy members are above 75. So they easily become victim because they are retired. And they like to come to see the film,
They are free and available.
Yeah, so the publicist or the people are looking that, there was a film called EO, which was nominated. It didn't win. But there the hero of the film is a donkey, And So actually, it's a remake of the film, French film. But then you do not reveal it's a remake. Because if you tell people that it's a remake, they are most likely not vote for you. Because, the whole reason you vote, you want to support originality.
Original.
So one is that. Second, at the screening, they literally had a donkey and a grass after the show got over. So people who love animal, they just go and take selfies. Oh my God, such cute donkey. And in a way, they did profiling, by going through their social media. And they see, oh, so-and-so is always photographed with cat and dog. She loves animal. We must invite her. If she watches donkey, she's voting for us. Or he's voting for that,
Oh.
So, so that, it's like a political campaign of a kind. So where a smart person can take the film very far. Like personally, I feel also there was an Academy winner which everyone was shocked, called Coda. There was a film called Coda. And again, it was the same campaign. No one said that it's a remake of a movie. The originality from the poster, and the cast and crew were told that whenever you go to such interviews, or don't ever
Never
mention.
mention.
Yeah, so that those people who are not aware should remain in dark.
એટલે તમારી ભાષામાં બની છે એમને શું ખબર?
Yeah, so when they discovered, પહેલી ખબર પડી કે અરે I feel cheated. તો આ ડિસ્કશનમાં હું હતો, where people said I feel so cheated કે આ તો મને.
તમારી પોઝિશન અત્યારે ત્યાં શું છે?
So I'm a voting member. I'm in the member directors branch, and directors branch is, I'm really lucky that it's a very prestigious branch. You have every director from Scorsese to Spielberg to everyone. And from India, there are few. There's Shekhar Kapoor, Meera Nair, Zoya, and I think there's one more if I remember. Yeah. Anyway, so then there are other people in producer and other branches, VFX, and so I think what is interesting about the Academy, that it just helps you updated with your craft and knowledge, because most of the Academy members are just amazingly generous. That is the one thing I have seen. It's just striking, the level of generosity when you go and ask them, તમે કેટલામાં પિક્ચર બનાવ્યું, કેટલો ખર્ચો થયો, કેટલા.
બહુ ટ્રાન્સપેરન્ટ.
They'll tell you everything. My closest friend in India will not tell me anything. If I go there, they'll tell you round. It's impossible. And that to a person whom you don't know. You can't walk up to anyone in Bombay and say, "Bhai, thodik baat karo and tamari mana picture release thi thi kem badu thayu." So you will only hear flowery language. So meanwhile, what is which the way I find big difference, whether it's they've done $1 billion Black Panther, they just sit down and literally give you. So recently my cinematographer Swapnil was there. He wanted to meet cinematographer. We called, instantly they came, breakfast, we are talking, they are sharing. So they know that once they have the work, there is some kind of, that's why they have the Academy. That's why they have the Oscar, I believe, because we have failed in India to create even an Academy. We are so divided, that we don't even have one good Academy. We don't even have a union, and we have the biggest industry in the world. Until you don't have that, it just clearly goes to show, according to me, that somewhere it's really rotten or it's toxic. Something is wrong terribly with the industry. Because when all these people, bhaichara and friendship and what, it must be fake, because you can't come together and create one
single platform.
Yeah, it doesn't matter in Hollywood. They all have a mega creative differences.
એટલે ભારતની અંદર તમે જાતિને માટે, ધર્મને માટે, પ્રાંતને માટે, ભાષાને માટે, પોલિટિકલ પાર્ટીને માટે, ભગવાનને માટે, સર્ટન કાઇન્ડ ઓફ આર્કિટેક્ચર, ટેમ્પલ, હિસ્ટ્રી, બિલીફ, આ બધા માટે થઈને તમે શક્તિ પ્રદર્શન કરી શકો છો. પણ આ એક ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી જેની ઉપર આખું ભારત થ્રાઇવ કરે છે. કે છે ને કે there are two religions, movies and cricket.
Yes. Yeah.
તો આ જે એક વસ્તુ છે એમાં આખી ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી ભેગી થઈને પોતાનું એક શક્તિ પ્રદર્શન કરી શકે એવી શક્યતા હજુ સુધી થઈ નથી. They have to be constantly dependent on their numbers.
Right.
Their highs and their lows just
Yeah.
change their lives overnight.
Yeah, so I think, I mean, it's very true, because I think one big difference, I think, according to my little observation, કે ભાઈ જે હોલિવૂડમાં એ લોકો show business કે, there is a reason why it's called show business. And there is also a reason why show comes first and business comes after. The biggest difference I see when I practice my craft in India, especially in anywhere in India, South or whatever, it's always business show. We don't, it's પહેલા ધંધાની વાત કરો. પછી હવે શું બનાવવું છે? So you're not going to work, if you make a theater or a music, you have to make a show first. Then that show has to bring business. If you don't have a show, there is no business. So we designed the whole business before. Okay, एक आने नाखिए, एक item number, पहला भाई ले लिए, he is very famous, he's 20 crore he made this in his last movie. So you make a business package, then હવે શું બનાવીએ? અચ્છા horror film ચાલે છે, ચલો એક horror film બનાવીએ. Horror comedy, let's get this writer, that writer. So all decision is business oriented. Almost every film. No one really thinks that let me make a show which people will like it. And whenever some people try to make a good show with a movie, it proves it works. Audience go there and enjoy it. So I think that's one key difference. That the more expensive film we make in India, we have more expensive star in it. Hollywood is opposite. The more film is expensive, you take total newcomers. You don't take stars. You don't need star because you believe in your story. And they became star after. Avenger nu koi star nota pehla. If you look at any movie, which came out, whether, the Hulk or, Transformer, Shia LaBeouf and all, they became star after. When they came, they were nobody. Avatar ma kon star hatu? Avatar is the biggest box office hit around the world. So that has been a philosophy. Recently Wicked. They are they are known, but you don't consider them a star. Now they are star. Now they'll get Oscar. But it's a very expensive film. We don't need star. And this was a similar story with Star Wars. When they made, neither Harrison Ford and no one had any great filmography there. So there is that confidence in storytelling, which we don't have. So we try to hide behind superstar. We think if I make the most expensive 1,000 crore film, so I need a 200 crore star. And this is where all economics go wrong. And they wonder why so many films flopped with big star, like last year, back to back. The film don't recoup. This year has not even started. And we saw film with superstar, whether it's Deva or Baby John, or then they still can't realize why these films are not working. But if you look at all discussion, is always about business. Not one person is questioning that where did we go wrong in putting the show? Where is the show part of the business? So I feel, being at the academy, being with those producers, like we were given inside tour, our entire team went to Sony studio and they took us to Spider-Man, and this is unthinkable. Like in India, we can't imagine any studio inviting us. And say,
એટલે અહીંયા જેટલા દરવાજા બંધ છે એટલા જ દરવાજા ત્યાં ખુલ્લા ને મોકળા છે.
Yeah, I think they recognize you as an artist. Regardless of you are a musician, you are editor, cinematographer, script writer, actor, they recognize you that we are in the same industry. We might have our big differences. But तुझे मेरा देखना है काम आजा, कोई बात नहीं है. There's no secret. You come, you want to know.
And they're also very open to collaborations.
Very open to collaboration, but then there is a whole ecosystem. So you have to respect that. You have to respect that just because I know you, 5 times I meet Angelina Jolie, I can't say, hey, do my film. That will be like crossing the line. I have to approach her agent and say, look, I would like to propose her. And if you respect that, then you will remain respected. When you become the pusher, you will be pushed aside. Then they'll say, okay, like somebody's behaving unprofessionally, unethically. Then they also have a private life. So everybody, it's not like here. None of the actors I have seen, big stars, at the academy screening, they have zero entourage. They don't come with anybody. They are in their casual chappal pajama and night show watching the film at the academy, going away. No one harasses them. No one even asks for a selfie, because so there is a whole different atmosphere. Then you also are very scared to pull out your phone. And sometimes I can get away from, I'm from India, I need to take a photo, Otherwise, no one will believe me that I'm at Denzel Washington.
I know what you mean. તો ધારો કે બિકોઝ તમે હવે આટલો બધો અનુભવ કરેલો છે, આજે એક સારો ફિલ્મ મેકર છે અને એને સેમ સ્ટ્રગલ પડી રહી છે જે તમને સ્ટ્રગલ પડી રહી છે, એને ફોરેન ફંડ્સ જોઈએ છે કે એને કોકની સાથે કોલેબરેટ કરવું છે, એને શું કરવું જોઈએ? એને 1, 2, 3 ગાઈડ, કોઈ મેપ, કોઈ રસ્તો?
I think one is you have to decide who the story is for, whether it's story or the show. અત્યારે બે મોટા ડિવિઝન આવી ગયા છે, which is streaming and theatrical. All this might change in a big way in 3-4 years because no one yet has fully predicted what AI is going to do, and some of the experiments are scary. And if that's going to work, then, you could be sitting in, anywhere in Navrangpura and making a Hollywood film without ever going to Hollywood. You could create your own Tom Cruise, you could create everything, and it's not far. These days are not far. You can create cast that, I want Japanese cast. You create your cast and make a film regardless of which country you live in. The dubbing art is going to advance like never before, including the lip sync, the expressions, the recent experiment even show that, if Italians speak with hand and when you dub, the hands will appear naturally, which you might not have shot in the film, when you are watching. So, it's just the whole thing is going to go completely insane. And when you take a film, you just have to tell your iPad or a phone, hey, I want to watch it in Gujarati, Mission Impossible. And that's it, like a Siri command, and then it'll convert to every expression. In a Gujarati will speak, and the hoठ અને બધું એવી જ રીતે મૂવ થશે, આંખો ને એવું બધું. So it's not that fake dubbing anymore. You almost believe કરે આ તો ટોમ ક્રૂઝ ને તો આવડે છે ગુજરાતી, સારું બોલતા આવડે છે.
મારે હમણાં કોઈકે સરસ વાત કરેલી કે કોકે સવાલ પૂછ્યો કે એઆઈ ને કારણે આપણા બધાની જોબ જતી રહેશે? તો ધ રિપ્લાય વોઝ વેરી ઇન્ટરેસ્ટિંગ કે એઆઈને કારણે એ લોકોની જોબ જતી રહેશે જે લોકો એઆઈ નથી શીખવાના. કારણ કે એઆઈ જો તમે જાણતા હશો તો તમારી જોબ નહીં જતી રહે.
સાચી વાત છે.
તમને જો એઆઈ નો શ્રેષ્ઠ ઉપયોગ આવડતો હોય તો ફિલ્મ મેકિંગ ની અંદર પણ તમને એવું લાગે છે અથવા તો તમે પોતે એ પ્રકારનું કંઈ શીખી રહ્યા છો?
હા, એક્ઝેક્ટલી. તો આપનો જે સવાલ હતો કે અત્યારે when you are searching, the steps are that જ્યારે ફિલ્મ બનાવો પહેલા whether is it a universal story or not? One is that. And if it's not, it will be very difficult to find funding outside India. One is that. Second is that are you really aiming for theatrical or not? Now, each story has its own demand. If you have written period piece or action movie, surely it will be expensive. So then that reality check one has to make, that how much is below the line cost, without actor and director and writer. What is the cost of making my movie? At least all the filmmaker, I would say 90% of them I meet here, they are overconfident about their story. They think it's just designed for a box office hit, So that...
Tarantino પછી હું જ છું.
ये થોડોક reality check કરવો, overconfidence is also very dangerous. So, very often the buyers are not stupid. They are going to see the story no potential check any, and if he is buying for Japan or Australia or Canada, he is going to see that agar aa film mara desh ma chalse ke nahi. So, and then he says yes chalse, but I can't call it cello show. I have to change. So they ask permission to us ke bhai look, Russia ma chalse a film, but I will not be able to call it last film show or cello show. We have our own Russian title which roughly translate into Once Upon a Time in Cinema, and we will change the poster because this will not work for us, and Germany says, oh no, our society is very different. We can't use any of these titles, so their light is what dream made up of. That's the German title. Japanese title is beyond the end credit, so culturally, they start seeing how they are going to market the film. And all this they see at your script level. They have to see there's a potential. Otherwise, they are not going to do this homework. That can I really take it out and sell the film? Just the way there are so many films, they might win Golden Palm, but no Indian distributor is running to buy them. You might win so many Oscar also. Like 2 years ago, there was the Danish film which won Oscar. It never came out in India because they know ये कौन देखने वाला है ये वाला picture. Indian audience will not go for it. So the award and the creation of the story, that is always going to be key part. When you look for money, people are going to look at it from distribution point of view. That can I sell this to a platform? Can I release it in cinema hall? Will my television station
But
will
is
buy
there a platform or is there a space જેમ કે ગોવાની અંદર જ્યારે ફેસ્ટિવલ થાય છે ત્યારે ત્યાં ઇન્ટરનેશનલ પ્રેઝન્ટર્સ અને ડિસ્ટ્રીબ્યુટર્સ ને બધા
Absolutely.
ઇન્વાઇટેડ છે
Yes.
અને લોકો ત્યાં જઈને પોતાની ફિલ્મ્સ જે છે એના વિશેની વાત પિચ ડેક ઓલ ઓફ
हाँ तो जे फिल्म बाजार થાય છે, that is a good start in India. Other place to go to is like right now અત્યારે Berlin festival ચાલી રહ્યું. They have something called talent campus. So they every year they choose 60-70 people. Of course you have to pay for everything, but if you are chosen, then they make you meet people with your project, which can be producer, distributor, co-producer. એમાં કોઈને આપનો પ્રોજેક્ટ ગમી ગયા તો you start. Similarly, you have in Cannes, similar market. Like you were talking about Payal Kapadia, I know that she went to those market and then built up relationship there. Then the film, then that award in Cannes, and when you win certain award in Cannes, that gives you an automatic selection when you make a feature film. So that became attractive for French producer. They knew that hey, if we do Payal Kapadia's film, she'll surely be in the fest. Will show at Cannes,
બરાબર છે.
And then it's also being at right time, right place, right luck. So Greta Gerwig in the jury, woman, many things. And Cannes had a lot of pressure to take women directors. Cannes last year had a lot of pressure to take Indian films. Because Mr. Macron, had invited our PM for 14th July in Paris as a chief guest.
બિલકુલ.
Yeah, and then for 26th
Thank you,
January,
gesture.
Macron was invited. So I was invited to meet him, as a film delegate. And I had a 1-hour conversation about cinema, with President Emmanuel Macron, and so there is a culture.
બધા બહુ ભાંડા ફૂટી રહ્યા છો આજે.
So Rashida Tati જે cultural minister છે, એમને પણ she knew, that there has to be big presence of India because there's a political interest as well. And you can see that the first time in every section of Cannes, there was Indian presence. Every section, competition, certain regard. Not only that, the French, the Indian influencer from Brut, 20 of them are invited because Brut is a French company. Founded by, so they were also allowed to walk red carpet. So you had, people from social media walking the red carpet.
Yes, I saw.
So many things happen. So these things will also play a part when you go to the market, but still it is a market to go to. Busan in South Korea is another market. Hong Kong film market is another market, where quite a few our own filmmakers have gone. Like I was talking about Rima Das or there are 2 other filmmakers who went to Berlin. So these are the places where you go with your pitch deck, script, whatever you have. Some people might have started shooting. They go with a film. So I know, like for example, my first assistant director, she was always wanting to make her first film. And she's from Himachal Pradesh. She's working with me in Kathiawad, in Gujarati, and Angry Indian Goddesses and all that. But when it came time to do her film, my first thing is always that, like, just make something close to you in your state. If you, and that local story. If it's strong, it will become global. He said, but my story is very boring. There is no antagonist, nothing. He said, as a woman in India, I lived in a Delhi, and it's about a young girl going through miscarriage alone. And that's it. My story is nothing, Emma. Because that's a great story, So in a way, she made the deck and she pitched it to few markets. She got invited. She got invited to American film independent market. They said, hey, we like your story. She gathered her own fund and made a movie called Second Chance, which premiered in Carlo Vivari and Busan, and small film, did a wonderful career and still going on now. And if you look at the film, it's very different Indian film. When everyone watch abroad, they say, oh, we have never seen such a universal story, because everyone can relate to that story.
Absolutely.
That she decides to go to her country home because her boyfriend never supported her through that, and she decides to, okay, like, I just need to be alone. So throughout the film she's alone, in the Himalayan home, and it's touching, it's equally relatable. The Variety and Hollywood Reporter reviews are raving about it.
Yes.
And she just got invited to Berlin Talent Campus. So that's a good start. And now she's got invited to Greece Film Lab. So abhi film lab પણ હોય છે જ્યાં they people mentor. So I also go to mentor because they invite filmmaker like us, and we pick up one or two young filmmaker and go through their script who are trying to make their first or second film and help them, navigate the journey of scripting.
Wow.
So, and these sessions for 15 days are all paid for, if you get selected. So she's going there with her new film, Now in Berlin, she'll go to the market and pitch. So this is one way of doing it, which is not a conventional way where you need to knock doors of 10 big studios. And they will not finance the film till there is a star and a song and an album they can
જેમાં
do.
બિઝનેસ પહેલા આવે ને શો પછી આવે.
Exactly. A business ne show. So, but in this, if you know that you don't want to call your film, like मैं हमेशा कोई दिवस आ બધા label में reject જ કર્યા છે, art house, independentness to. No, I think if you are a filmmaker, you will have to have a gut. Even જ્યારે મેં સમસારા બનાવી હતી, that's the one thing I learned from Harvey Weinstein, who's in jail now. Miramax picked up my film, and he told me that don't forget one thing. If you make a film, you should have a guts to release in front of Star Wars. So I said, what will you do? He said, we'll release Samsara in Star Wars. So, and literally that's what he did. Because he said the person who wants to see Star Wars is never going to wonder, no, આના બદલે સંસારા જોવા જાઓ. He said, there's a choice. He said, you have made up your mind કે મારે ગુજરાતી થાળી ખાવી છે. So suddenly you might not run to Italian restaurant. You have made up your mind. So, in a way, that thing of taste, it's just that exhibitor don't provide platform, and repeatedly we have seen, with few movies, like even with Angry Indian Goddesses, we saw the footfalls in which state and how hard it is to keep a film, even though you have a 40% footfall, and other movies have 12%. So exhibitors are really monopolizing. So that is a reality, So I believe that, I always want to make film for the audiences, that it must go to the audiences. And I've always insisted on theatrical release. જ્યારે મેં Valley of Flowers બનાવેલી, ત્યારે sales company હોય, they sell the film. તો એમણે મને એમ કીધેલું કે are you okay not to go to any festival and win no award? Because by then Samsara we had won 35 awards, Sundance, we had been to Toronto, Locarno. So મેં કીધું ભાઈ જો એક condition છે, if you sell 12 country, once I make the film, I will not go to any festival. તમે બહાર દેશનો ધંધો કરી દો, you sell, I will not go to any festival, because festival doesn't interest me. If 12 country buys the film, that is my biggest award. That means it will come out in cinema hall in 12 countries. So TF1 International, after 3 months, when they called me, when we were about to go to, I think, Berlin, he said, like, do you mind we just go to market, because you said 12. We have sold 16 countries.
Wow.
So, are you okay? I said, absolutely, man of my word. We haven't signed any deal, but he said we only go to market and we continue on market selling the film because this is going to do really well in Asia, which is South Korea, Japan, and whole of Eastern Europe. Like one of the biggest box office friendly was in Ukraine, of Valley of Flowers, and Turkey, and things like that. So I think you don't know where the audience is sometime. And sometime you have to be open-minded to listen to the professionals because it's a business. They know how to sell the film. So એ પણ એક important factor હોય છે કે when you take out the project, થોડુંક open mind લઈને, if it pitch the right way and the right story, it could find, platform or a distributor or a buyer. Yeah.
કરણ જોહરની હમણાં આ વખતે જે એમણે ગુનીત મોંગાની સાથે મળીને જે પેલી ફિલ્મ બનાવી જેમાં he was one of the producers પેલી ટ્રેનની અંદર
The Kill. Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
અને I was watching his interviews and I realized કે this is what my father had told me many years back because my father studied with Nasir Saab at National School of Drama.
Right.
Yeah, અને એમણે બહુ ઇન્ટરેસ્ટિંગ ઓબ્ઝર્વેશન કીધું હતું એ સમયના ટાઈમનું. પછી તો બચ્ચન સાહેબનું ફિલ્મોગ્રાફી ખાસી બધી બદલાઈ. પણ દેટ ટાઈમ હી યુઝ ટુ સે દેટ કે આખી જિંદગી ક્યાંક ને ક્યાંક નઝીર સાહેબને એમ હશે કે મને બચ્ચન જેટલી ફેમ નહીં મળે અને બચ્ચનને એવું હશે કે હું નસીર જેવો એક્ટર ક્યારેય ના કેવડાવે, લોકોએ મને એ લાઇટમાં નહીં જોયું. તો તમારી જે આખી સ્ટ્રગલ છે, જે પાછળથી જે પમ્પિંગની જે જરૂર હોય ઇન ટર્મ્સ ઓફ મની, ઇન ટર્મ્સ ઓફ પુશ, ઇન ટર્મ્સ ઓફ એન્કરેજમેન્ટ, ઇન ટર્મ્સ ઓફ રેકગ્નિશન, અને એની સામે કરણ જોહરનો હું જ્યારે ધ કિલવાળો ઇન્ટરવ્યૂ જોતી હતી ત્યારે આઈ રિયલાઇઝ દેટ હી રિયલી વોન્ટ્સ ધીસ કે આ એક ફિલ્મ જે છે એ કદાચ મને એ અપાવી શકે એમ છે કે જે મારા ફાધરને કે મને કે મારી આસપાસના મિત્રોને કે વોટ શાહરૂખ કીપ સેઇંગ કે મને એવું હતું કે જિંદગીમાં મેં આદિએ વાત કરેલી કે આપણે એવી 5 ફિલ્મો બનાવી છે લાઈફની અંદર કે જે ગ્લોબલી જ્યારે દુનિયાની બેસ્ટ ફિલ્મો ગણાય અને કે અત્યાર સુધી મારી જિંદગીના 30 વર્ષ મેં નાખી દીધા, હજી સુધી હું એવી એક ફિલ્મ સુધી નથી પહોંચી શક્યો. સો I think their entire hunger is that, someday they will also be recognized into like 16 countries, 35 film festivals ને એમ થાય કે આ જ બધું જે તમે કહી રહ્યા છો કે આ બધું થાય જે એમની સાથે નથી થતું અને જે તમારી સાથે થઈ રહ્યું છે.
No, I think this everything has, its path because, what you said is very correct because I have had repeated incident. કારણ કે એમાં શું થાય કે when this some of the Bollywood actor, when suddenly they call me and want to meet and say we should work together, I'm surprised, ભાઈ મેં કામ કર્યું તમે કદાચ જોયું નહીં હોય. So how is it you're interested in me? And each time story is really interesting. Like in one case of famous actor, he was in Canada, and he went for a dinner after the wedding, and most of the people, they were whole of Punjabi Indian family, and there's like a Jewish Canadian family. And they start talking about cinema, and they say, oh, I've done this, I've done that, and they say, oh, we haven't seen any of those movies, because we don't watch so much of it. But you must have seen some Indian film. He said, oh, we have seen Ayurveda, Art of Being, we have seen Samsara, we have seen this, and we love this movie. And I said, oh, I love Valley of Flower. We premiered here. There were 2,000 people in Elgin Theatre, and then suddenly, sir, ye kaun hai banda, Abhi Mumbai jaake phone karta hu. So this has happened repeatedly. When they go abroad, they question, it's a bit like just recently when Giuseppe Tarnatore said, for me, I've only watched, so like I felt like, oh my God, what a ray and maru naam aave. એટલે I got that Bombay Times, I blew it up. It's a poster now, It's coming from Tarnatore.
રોજ સવારે હું મિરર જોવાનો બદલે આ જોઈશ and I'll be like, ये मैं हूँ.
So, but there are the number of people who question, कि भाई आ कौन છે? Satyajit, so we all know, we know Manmohan Desai and everyone. And some of them are very honest, like Kiara Advani, they're like, my God, like I'm just so feel ignorant, I don't know your work. And, so I think that's, then she loved Cello Show. So I think it's just wonderful that when you have a humility to accept, that when you go out, they don't understand that why, this cinema was popular. So it happened also with, with Karan Johar, and when they approached my Japanese distributor, and they said, Cello Show was the first Indian film we bought.
Correct.
We are 112-year-old
Distributors.
studio,
Studio.
but now we are curious, so we are looking at more films. So if you have anything, you show us. So they send many films to them. And a Japanese distributor, now they are very close friend. I know what film they have watched. They didn't buy anything, They said like, this doesn't work for us. So they don't get it, that why I'm proposing them 9 film a year, And ultimately something like The Kill, which was very different in the taste, maybe they said it could work. Or when the producer of Lapata Ladies, they realized, oh, there's a potential. So after Cello Show, why not we try Lapata Ladies? So it can open up market. But what happens here is that when like Kiran and his team went there, then they realized another truth. When the studio told them that, look, he said, what? You are selling in black the poster of Cello Show? He said, yes, 350. So what in Japan they do, they, not only my film, every director, if they are in Japan, they sign a lot of posters. So સમજીઓ PVRમાં રિલીઝ થવાનું હોય કે PVR નવરંગપુરા કે કંઈ પણ. So you write the name of the cinema and you sign. And that poster remains on display and on social media is being auctioned. So if you really love the movie, so this is very Japanese culture. So $5, $6, $7, it keeps going up the price and it can reach up to $300,
Wow.
And when movie is pulled down from the theater, that highest bidder gets the poster. So this 1,000 poster alone, gave them some $200,000 box office, just the poster, forget the film. Then this creation of QR code, social media. So I think industry માં એક છે એક એવું, and now there are some intelligent and educated actor who want share of both, That's what, there is this combination they are searching for. Even recently, Rana Daggubati, with Payal Kapadia's film, he knows that what he has, he doesn't have that.
Yeah.
If he stands with Payal Kapadia, he can tomorrow stand in Cannes, otherwise nobody's going to invite him. There is no space for him. Similarly, just today there was a post from Berlin Festival. It's a first-time film director. There are 15 producers there. Most well-known directors from Bollywood, producers, studio owner, they're all there. Executive producer and producer. I think it's called Boxo Bondi or one of the title like that, or Shadow Box. So, and you can clearly see that this is the only way for them to be officially be in Berlin. Because what they are doing here, Berlin probably is never going to show, in a mainstream cinema. So that's fine as far as you are helping each other. But that is for sure that till today, ek dukni baat hai, forget Gujarati language, we don't have international presence. આપણે ઇન્ડિયામાંથી ઘણું બધું એક્સપોર્ટ કરી રહ્યા છીએ, from mango to masala to whatever. We dominate in many, like even simple Jaipur, the like printed block sari business is bigger than the film industry export. So આપણી જે ફિલ્મો બહાર જાય છે, they are limited to diaspora. That's it. Anybody tell you anything else is like just not true. One strange incident was, I remember in Samsara in 2004, powerhouse Akoopar je analysis kare IIFA na award ma, they were doing presentation about Indian film industry ecosystem aate badu. So they had listed the Indian films which did very well abroad. So there was Lagan, Devdas, and 7 number upar was Samsara. And it was like live recorded, and someone like Yashji has protested કે ભાઈ અમે તો આવી ફિલ્મ જ નથી બનાવી, આવું નામ કોઈ દિવસ નથી સાંભળ્યું. How can this film would have made 300 crore, So this must be wrong, and there's literally a silence. Those guys are checking, calling, it's all live, and he says, no, sorry sir, this is a monsoon film production based in Delhi. They produced this film, It's shot in Ladakh. It's a regional Indian film. And then he's going. So, and I know that after that IIFA award in 2006, in next week, I had got like 15 calls from the CEO of big Bollywood studio, and so some of them were very honest, like Mr. Manmohan Shetty, who used to run big studio called Ad Labs, he had signed
Yes, of
Hrithik
course.
Roshan. So I said like, sir, आप तो बुला रहे हो, लेकिन आपने पिक्चर देखा है तो पिक्चर नहीं देखा, लेकिन आपने यार 200 करोड़ कमा लिया यार.
मैंने बिजनेस देख लिया.
बिजनेस देख लिया. So ये एक अप्रोच है. So in one way, the intelligent actor now, who realize that, the world is changing. We need a stronger storyteller. Maybe we can do different type of film. We might not go to festival, but we might have an international vision. So there's a curiosity, and I'm exploring. I meet them whenever they call me from South here. They have woken up to this recognition. कि भाई आप तो कमाल करते हो बाहर जाके यार. I went here. Your film was playing. I went here. The Ukraine, the most popular film.
So you have been able to create a very special niche in the Indian directors, but out of India.
Yeah.
So you have much larger presence outside India now in comparison of India.
Yes, absolutely. I would say. That's.
So
true.
they all know and they all want to work with you.
Yeah.
But are we Indians in a scary space કે હવે તમે નેક્સ્ટ ધારો કે કોઈ પણ ફિલ્મ બનાવશો તો તમે કહેશો કે આ બધાને તો નહીં જ લઉં કારણ કે આ લોકોએ કોઈએ મને કોઈ રીતે સપોર્ટ નથી કર્યો એટલે હું તમને બધાને મળીશ ચોક્કસ એનો કંઈ વાંધો નહીં પણ એન્જેલિના જોલીની જેમ મારું બી નક્કી છે કે મારી જોડે પિક્ચર કરવી હોય તો મારા એજન્ટને સંપર્ક કરજો નહીં તો મને એવું લાગશે કે યુ આર ક્રોસિંગ ધ લાઇન.
No, I feel that, it's, filmmaking is a long process. So genuinely, if you meet an actor, and I tell them genuinely, ભાઈ મારાથી નથી થતું 20 જણા એન્ટરાજ આવે તમારી જોડે, એમાં 25 મેકઅપ વાળા હોય, and you never talk about character. I can't make movies like that, So that's where I see the big difference, So I know that if someday we have to work, can we talk film? Can we talk story? Can we talk character? And there is... I don't want to name a star, but like after all this, I love the story, I want to do it. And I said we have to prepare for the role and character, for 8 to 10 weeks before we shoot.
Obviously.
So the manager called my producer कि भाई इतना सारा टाइम सर तो मंगलवार को शूट है, सोमवार आते हैं और शूट शुरू हो जाता है. तो हमने बोला लेकिन वो रोल तो पिच किया है नलिन ने, तो ये करना पड़ेगा. So then they saying but ठीक है लेकिन फिर फीस डबल हो जाएगी क्योंकि वो आपके सर के 6 महीने ब्लॉक हो जाएंगे. 6 महीने में तो सर 2 फिल्म कर लेते हैं. So then the whole conversation.
सर की वो सारी फिल्में सर पैर बगैर की होती है, उसका क्या?
So that, and then they talk about great actor. If you look at their interview, he did that. Robert De Niro, but did you look? Robert De Niro prepared for his 9 months before doing the role. Joaquin Phoenix for Joker, he prepared 1 year. He didn't take any film, So I think that's so I know that there is a group of actors who do remain torn, and very often they wake up when they have back-to-back couple of flop films, and then they are confused that, oh my God, our strategy is not working. Maybe we should look somewhere else, So I think that I do feel that time will come, and sadly, what is happening is that it's a really great time for India to make international film. Look, our literature is doing far better than our cinema. Our English, people who write in English, and who, look at the numbers, they are doing. And not only now, even 15 years ago, people like Vikram Seth were getting $2 million.
Absolutely.
To write a book. Why? Because who's reading them? Indian? No.
Salman Rushdie.
The readers are, Amitabh Ghosh, readers are all around the world.
Absolutely.
Because they have that universal quality. So I see that there is a great hope. And also we have another advantage over China and Japan. And it's a big advantage that we have, all of us speak English. And to make an English language film out of India and sell it worldwide and earn in dollars. Like today, Thailand's earning is bigger than India. Thailand made a movie called How to Make Millions Before Your Grandmother Dies, and it's the $70 million box office, That's like you're talking about 700 crore.
Absolutely.
And here our film makes abroad 20 crore. Every whole media is jumping, you know. So collectively to Indonesia, South Korea, they're all doing much better in exporting.
અને આવડા ટપકા જેવડા દેશો છે બધા.
You just see constantly, you know, the Neme Neme is a second film, animation film in China this week has crossed $1 billion. Just in China, you know. So what, like that's the news we should be listening to. What are they doing right? That in their own country they are making, they say like forget USA, world, we don't care. So they have 28,000 cinema hall, you know, and each season, you know, they are able to bring up film, you know, and make industry really solid. And our biggest box office is still can't reach $100 million. Even if it's 1,000 crore, it turns it into, you know, Argentinian films are doing better. The French films are making more money, or German. So I would say in economy, you know, we are way behind. And I feel that there's a good time for investors, and mainly Gujarati should take an opportunity because they like to make money, not Chidama. So jump onto this opportunity, you know, instead of opening 10, 20 more hotel and motel, try on 2 films, no, invest $2 million and see where it goes, you know, make 2 movie of $2 million film, but for international market, forget India, don't sell to India because they are still want star and songs, but writers are available today to make an international film. International system is far more organized. To go after actor is very organized. You don't have to chase 25 months a manager to get an Indian actor. Then you might get appointment and ultimately they'll say, I don't want to do this because I don't act in front of this. None of that thing will happen, you know. Professionally today, you can make an offer to Angelina Jolie. You can make it to Tom Hanks, whoever you like. You know, and if your story is good, they said, yes, I want to do it. And next thing you know, you are working and making a movie with them professionally. So I see there's a much more scope. And that is what I want to explore, you know, with right kind of investor. I'm pushing them to do that. I said, time has come to make epic Indian film for global market.
So are you making your next film as an English film?
I am making next film as an English film. I also have I always want to make also film in India in Indian languages. But currently there are 2 projects which are both, you know, one is going to be a show and one is a film. Both are as English language.
Tell us more about both.
Unfortunately, you know, the producer, I signed
Little bit,
so
whatever
many
little
paper,
bit.
I can't
જે પણ તમે જેટલું કહી શકો.
I can't reveal much till
Have you
they
started
are
shooting?
So no. We're just casting right now. So the casting process is going on. We just finished some location scouting in Italy, you know, with DP. So it will be shot in US and in Italy.
With Indian actors?
There is absolutely no Indian actor this time. This story is like pure English language. There's another story which is in development where it's planned as majority Indian actor. It's an English language film. Which is still being written, you know, and we haven't got production financing, but we have got what you call development fund to develop it. So that would be an Indian story, you know, made for global market, you know, maybe at little bigger scale than what I've done before, but it will be in English language to go wider. As I told you, the dubbing is coming in a different way. So there are a couple of, you know, different projects, you know, which are there, and the focus is to do it in English, you know. Focus is try to do in English. One which I've tried very often for a long time, it never found money. That I can speak about because it's a super expensive project where really, like, we have spent 4 crore in development over 10 years, which is the life of Buddha, you know, which is the life of young Siddhartha, not the Buddha, the Bhagwan, when he was a young
Before Buddhatva આવ્યો એ પહેલા.
Becoming Buddha, you know. So 22 years to 36 years. Only in the last scene, in the last shot of the movie, he becomes Buddha. You know, till then he's a loser, you know, a bum who is wandering, you know, like his whole story. So we have cracked a code in a very interesting way, you know, and that's what we want to do it for international market, because I believe it's the biggest brand which exists, you know. So already half the battle is won. You don't have to
Explain. Go and explain who Buddha is.
Yeah, like during the pandemic,
It's so
Buddhism.
incidental. તમે બેઠા છો તમારી પાછળ બુદ્ધનું સ્ટેચ્યુ છે.
Oh.
નીચે
So that's so I've worked with American and scholars, and over the years we have found a way to approach the story so it doesn't become one of those reverential Aarti Utaro type of film, so but it's an expensive production because it happened 2,500 years ago, so you need to build everything because there was not even a stitches, the clothes were drapes and so the whole thinking needs to be very unique, in a way like Passion of Mel Gibson, when he made that story about Jesus Christ.
Absolutely.
And so I think there are projects like that which are over ambitious, which go on developing for years, and I don't know, maybe it will become a comic book or if not a film. But the story I know will survive somehow. The one we have explored, the journey of Siddhartha in an interesting way through all the different scriptures and oral traditions, and yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is I think જે લોકો યંગ ફિલ્મ મેકર્સ છે ને જે લોકોની બહુ સ્ટ્રોંગ એમ્બિશન છે ટુ ટેલ રિયલી ડિફરન્ટ સ્ટોરીઝ, યુનિક સ્ટોરીઝ, હુ હેવ ધેર ઇન્ડિપેન્ડન્ટ વોઇસ, અને જે લોકોની પાસે એવી ભારતીય વાત છે કે જે આખા સમષ્ટિને અડી શકે એવું કંઈક હોય, એ બધાને આજની આ વાતમાંથી ઘણી બધી મદદ મળશે, હૈયાધારણ પણ મળશે જ્યારે ઠેબા ખાતા હશે ત્યારે કે ચેક ઓસ્કર સુધી નજીક પહોંચીને પણ આવું બધું થતું હોય છે.
It's all journey, adventure. There's no adventure complete without obstacles.
Thank you so much for having this
thank you so
wonderful
much for having me
conversation.
here, and it's great to talk to you as always.
Thank you, Nalin bhai.